Did I stutter?
He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. It is Jersey Thursday, otherwise known as Thursday. In Guam, it is just Jersey, and in here, it's Jersey Thursday. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Joshua Dalton Pickell, more commonly known as J.D. Pickell, is taking his dog to the dog park for a walk this morning at a peculiar hour, the 11 o'clock hour. So J.D. Pickell will not join us until 1 o'clock. But hey, that's all right, because today is the day of all days where March Madness begins. The field of 68 kicks off with the first 4 games tonight. 8 teams will square off with a chance to make the field of 64 and the NCAA tournament. The call lines are open, 254-339-1122. We got a big show, a packed show planned for you guys today as we talk all things college basketball on the men's and women's side, and all things Baylor, because there's more going on than just basketball in the Baylor realm. At 11 o'clock, that's right now, open phone lines, 254-339-1122. Call us, text us on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line or the Impact Health Labs caller line. 1120, Adam Schwartz on Hartford. He joins the show. Sam Schwartz joins the show to talk about Hartford. He is a reporter for the American East Conference and has covered Hartford this season. Jason King from SicEm365 comes on at 12:05 to talk Baylor men's basketball as they head into the tournament. Doug Feinberg, the AP writer who covers women's basketball, he's going to join us and talk about the women's bracket, Baylor's draw, what the tournament looks like on that side of things, and then, as mentioned, 1 o'clock, the Blonde Boys Power Hour. JD and I are going to break down our brackets, pick by pick, from Gonzaga against, who are they playing? Either Appalachian State or Norfolk State, all the way down to Houston and Cleveland State. We're going to pick it game 1 all the way through game whatever. How many games are there? There are a lot of games. We're going to pick them all for you guys and give you a glimpse into what our brackets look like for this season.
I believe they're like 67, possibly.
Really? 32 round 1. Was that including the 4 play-in games?
No.
There are playing games, though. Today, college basketball returns the first time in what feels like ages. There were games last night. I don't know if you guys saw these or if you cared to see these, because I, for one, did not watch these. I'm not a big NIT guy. I think the NIT serves a purpose, yes, and Baylor has won the NIT, and it gives you a good, hey, you didn't make the NCAA tournament, but you can still play basketball and get ready for next year through practice and stand together as a team, but I don't, the premise for me, it's kind of lost on me a little bit. It's not something that's just rockstar television that I want to watch. And a point being, Richmond and Toledo played last night. Richmond winning at 76-66. Jay Gilliard and Tyler Burton scored 18 points each for Richmond. Western Kentucky, the 3 seed, knocked off 2 seed St. Mary's, survived and advanced the NIT, 69-67, the final score in that one. But today we get now NIT games. NC State and Davidson. Davidson's a 1.5 point favorite. And SMU and Boise State. Boise State's a 1 point favorite. But the real games we're watching, Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's. That's a 16 seed play-in game. It takes place at 4:10. The afternoon guys will be on the air for that one. Drake and Wichita State. That's the 11 seeds. 2 11 seeds. The winner of that one will play USC. That game takes place at 5:27 p.m. on TBS. 7:40 today, 7:40 tonight, Appalachian State and Norfolk State, another 16-seed play-in game. And then UCLA and Michigan State in what will likely be the game of the day. Both of those in a play-in for the 11th seed. Michigan State a 2-point favorite. That game taking place in Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. On the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line, Jack Wheeler. Jack Wheeler says, if every Big 12 school was a Pixar film, which one would they be? Jack, I'll be honest with you. I've yet to compile that, but it's coming. It's coming. I don't know if a commercial break's long enough to put that together, but it's on its way. Scotty B. the Baylor King says, huge news about the 50% capacity on Baylor events at the outdoor facilities. So whether it be baseball, softball, it sounds like the Herd Tennis Center and soccer as well. Scotty B., you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong there, are all expanding to 50% capacity now, working through the rest of the spring sports. So more folks will get to go to the games, watch Baylor compete. The mask mandate is still in effect, but big news, Baylor now allowing 50% rather than 25% capacity at all outdoor sporting events in the spring. It does include baseball. It does include softball. More folks will get to go to those games and watch Baylor compete. Both of those teams are red hot right now. Softball, 6 straight wins. They've won 13 of the last 14. And then baseball's 10 straight wins. But we'll get to that in a second. Again, open phone lines, 254-339-1122. Scotty B. the Baylor King also says, as for the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments, let the madness begin. Thank you, Scotty B. Hope North Carolina men's basketball loses to Wisconsin tomorrow. As for the women's tournament, I hope no teams opt out before March Madness play begins. I hope the same, Scotty B. And I do hope that Wisconsin knocks off North Carolina because I am much more scared. I would say I'm more scared of North Carolina. However, Wisconsin is a team that was in the top 25 for a while. They've got pedigree. They've been to a national championship. They played Duke in the national title. That year, Kentucky was the team to beat. And I'll tell you what, as good as they were then, maybe they're not on that same level right now, but Wisconsin still scares me. They have that pedigree. On the other side, North Carolina, though, same North Carolina team. They vied for a national championship, won a national championship, went to 2 straight under Roy Williams, and well-coached teams win. Well-coached teams win, but you know who else wins? Teams that have great guards. And what does North Carolina not have? Armstrong?
They don't have great guards.
They don't have great guards. Last night in Baylor sports, had men's tennis. Number 3 men's tennis against number 15 Arizona. 5-2. A win in Waco. Baylor got another win. The men's tennis team is just automatic. Baseball against Prairie View A&M. We'll have highlights of that later on in the show today. Final score of that one, 12-2 in 7 innings. Midweek game goes Baylor's way. They've now won 10 straight baseball games after starting the season in a really tough spot. I'll say, I mean, they beat a Xavier team last week, swept a 3-game series over the weekend against a Xavier team that had beaten Texas A&M in a series to start this season. So while the competition, mid-major schools, there's some pretty solid mid-major schools in baseball, now 12-4 right now. If the tournament started today, baseball still doesn't get in. They don't have the resume to get in yet. They've beaten UTSA, Xavier, Memphis, Sam Houston. They had that win against Auburn, but Auburn's kind of dropped off the table a little bit. But I tell you what, give it time. I think this baseball team is going to be able to make the postseason and maybe make a run. Steven from Virginia on the Impact Golf Labs caller line. Steven, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Excited to celebrate Jersey with y'all, as always. Really excited about our baseball and especially our softball teams. I think they're both really playing well. I'm sure, Drake, you have great insight on that softball team, but both of those teams have really turned it around. We were really worried about that baseball team a couple weeks ago, and 10 wins in a row in college is nothing to sniff at, especially when you don't play every day. You essentially play one series during the week and one series on the weekend. It's real hard when you have 2 or 3 days off a week to stay sharp and to continue to win 10 straight. But the real reason I called was to talk some hoops with y'all today. I like UCLA tonight in a play-in game. I really do. Mick Cronin has improved UCLA 3,000 times over the Steve Alford version. As somebody, I know Armstrong follows UNC a little bit. I follow UCLA a little bit, and, not with the veracity that Armstrong follows UNC, of course, but still, when you're a blue blood program, it's disappointing when they had gotten how they were under Steve Alford. And I'm really impressed with Mick Cronin. And I think I said this yesterday. I like UCLA if they win tonight to beat BYU in the 6-11. And then a little bit of NIT analysis for you. I love what you said about the NIT. The NIT to me is essentially what 6-6 teams getting to bowl games are in football, because you get some postseason play. Doesn't really mean too much, unless you win, and you get extra practices. The teams I'm looking for, University of Richmond played pretty well last night. I was impressed with their 10-point win. But the St. Louis Billikens will win the NIT, and that's my prediction. And frankly, I don't care about the rest of the NIT enough to make any more.
All right, NIT picks today from Stephen from Virginia. Stephen, also breaking news out of Iowa State. Just 9 minutes ago, the basketball program officially tweeted and announced that the rumors were true. They have landed on a hire. UNLV men's basketball coach TJ Otzelberger expected to leave for Iowa State, and he will. Otzelberger is returning home. He will be the next head coach at ISU, trying to right the ship there. He was 28 and 29 at UNLV. 28 and 29 in two seasons.
I have to be honest, I'm really disappointed in Iowa State for that hire. I'm really disappointed. He has not been a winner at UNLV, and UNLV is the type of program that should be winning their conference on a regular basis. And I did some digging on this, and most of the people I know associated with Iowa State, said that this guy pretty much got the job because he's good with the boosters. And I think we were all talking about Kevin Steele was going to get the job at Auburn because he was going to get a booster, because he was good with the boosters, and how big of a disaster that would be. And that's pretty much what we had here. And I have to be honest with you. When I was Iowa State and Steve Prohm was 2-22, the first phone call I was making was to Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska. Because no matter how bad Nebraska is, he was a good coach at Iowa State, and that would not be a bad thing to try and bring him back. And it seemed like, just the last thing I'll say about this is, it seemed like as soon as the news came out that Steve Prohm was getting fired, that they had zeroed in on Otzelberger as their guy. And that's really, really, really disappointing, because Iowa State has a history of being a good basketball program, and it would really hurt the conference if they were this bad for 2 or 3 more years.
And it might just happen. I don't know if I like that pick, but guess it is what it is. Stephen from Virginia, Bear Games question of the day today. How about this? We've got what is a reasonable price? A reasonable price for a men's haircut?
I don't particularly like paying more than $25 without the tip. And even then, it's got to be really good. I've paid more than that before, and it doesn't ever look that much better.
Yeah. Next question, bracket game today, Steven. Movie number 1. We've got a movie game number 1, Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story.
Again, I know y'all didn't make this bracket, but I was pretty disappointed in some of the seating in this region especially, and in the original Disney Renaissance bracket as well. I know, I'm a little bit older than y'all, so, we're going to get to a point in this bracket, I think, where Toy Story meets The Incredibles, and we're going to have, The Incredibles came out in 2004, and Toy Story came out in like 95 or 96, so we're going to have some big differing opinions. But I got to be honest, I'm picking Toy Story until they face The Incredibles, and then we're going to have a real discussion, because Toy Story was the movie that made Pixar, man.
Bring it on.
I was 4 years old when I saw that movie, and I don't think there's anything else that I really enjoyed more at that age.
How about Up or Coco?
Up is such an inspiring movie. And it always hits me in the feels. I'm an Up guy.
I love it. Hey, thanks for your call, Stephen from Virginia. As always, love to hear from you on Jersey especially.
Love you guys. Later.
Later, man. Hey, we've got an Armstrong's Minute right here. We're going to go ahead and roll that Zoom up that's got Sam Schwartz on it and pull him in a little bit early. And then after that, we've added a guest, Armstrong, we'll talk about off the air for the Iowa State hire with breaking news that TJ Otzelberger has been hired at Iowa State. G-Dub gets the short end of the stick 2 days in a row. I'm sorry, G-Dub. Breaking news, man. We'll hit you later in the show, though. I feel so bad. I love G-Dub.
The 1 to 2 hours clear, right?
The 1 to 2 hours clear, G-Dub. We'll get you then. We'll hit Armstrong's Minute right here and roll it with Sam Schwartz.
Long awaited and finally here. Today marks the first day of March Madness as the first four kicks off tonight. The Madness all starts at 4:10 with the play-in games between Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's from the East region. That game is followed by Drake and Wichita State at 5:27, App State and Norfolk State at 7:40, and UCLA versus Michigan State at 8:47, with each game taking place on True TV or TBS. In NIT action last night, Richmond knocked off Toledo by double digits, 76-66, and Western Kentucky upset St. Mary's, 69-67. And more NIT action takes place tonight between NC State and Davidson, and SMU and Boise State. And Georgia Tech star player and ACC Player of the Year Moses Wright joins the list of athletes who will not compete in the tournament, and neither will Oklahoma star Davion Harmon. On the women's side, Baylor's Nalissa Smith continues to garner awards as she was named first-team AP All-American. In baseball, Baylor extended its winning streak to 10 games last night with a mercy rule victory over Prairie View A&M in the 7th inning, 12-2. And the number 3 Baylor Bear tennis team notched a 5-2 win over number 15 Arizona State in Waco. I'm Armstrong Simpson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
And welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. How about it today? Jersey Thursday, coming on the show to help us break down all things Hartford, Sam Schwartz of the American East Conference. America East Conference. Sam Schwartz on the show today, talking all things Hartford. Sam, thanks for coming on, man. It's been now, I guess, 5 days since Baylor and Hartford have been slated to play, and we have found a Hartford analyst out there. They are there.
Yeah, appreciate it, Drake. It's feels like an eternity, right? I mean, we gotta get this game going.
No kidding. We obviously are ready to see it. This Baylor team play in March Madness, but one of the A1s is who they have to play against. And Hartford's a team that not many folks from Waco know a lot about. From the base level, I mean, just the outskirts of what this team is, what they're about, the program as a whole. Tell us about Hartford.
They're about defense, Drake. They've been building that culture for a while, and really a gritty team. And this was a team that had advanced to our championship game a season ago. And then, of course, COVID hit before that was able to be played. They were scheduled to play Vermont, just a perennial power in our conference, who's been the last, I think, 3 of the last 4 tournaments, if I remember. And then they got that redemption shot this year. They were a lower seed here in 2021 in our America East playoffs. They were a 4 seed, but got that crack at Vermont in the semifinals and got their redemption to advance to the championship game, where they won that for the first time in program history and are here in March Madness for the first time.
This team with Coach Gallagher and being a 4 seed going into the tournament, obviously they weren't supposed to win. It was supposed to be UMBC again that was going to make the NCAA tournament. But here they are. And I want to know, we've heard a lot of people mention Coach Gallagher's name. He was on our afternoon show earlier this week. Does that really speak to Coach Gallagher and his ability?
Yeah. I mean, he's been through it. You've probably seen on social media all the stories coming out about him fighting for his job, and he's really done a great job recruiting the last few years. I mean, he's gone overseas. I think it was in the championship game, they said 21 or 25 trips to and from Australia to get those guys, which is, all the way across the world, no matter where you are in the United States for the most part. And, he's got one of those guys in Hunter Marks, but then he also had some transfers. Their 2 guards are transfers that did not start their careers at Hartford. Tracy Carter is in, I believe, his 6th season of college basketball. He was at Marquette and LaSalle. And then they brought in Austin Williams this year, who has been a huge difference maker, both athletic and both get it done on the defensive end. So Gal's done a great job just sticking with it, keeping to the program. They've had some great pieces along the way, and they've gotten to this point where they've wanted to be for so long.
We've heard a lot about Gallagher as a person as well, and his motivational abilities with this team, that they really feel like they're playing for him. I mean, is he from a media standpoint, one of the bigger, more outgoing personalities that you guys work around?
He's probably up there. I mean, if you get a chance to watch the game on Friday, which I know you guys will, Drake, you will see John Gallagher on the sidelines. He is as animated as they come in games. He's just there. He's there, and you can hear him. He's always firing up his team, and he's vocal on the sidelines. He gets his steps in too.
How about it? With a team like Hartford that seems to really revolve around Austin Williams, is it a case where if Baylor is able to shut down a guy like Austin Williams, the trajectory of this game just changes entirely?
I would say, that's probably the focal point for the Baylor defense. If they want to try to slow down the Hartford offense, Austin Williams is their go-to guy, but they have other guys. I mean, Tracy Carter is one of the best defensive players in the America East Conference, if not the best, but he can score too. I mean, he's a guy that can facilitate and get the offense going if they're in a pinch. And Hunter Marks is an undervalued piece on this team as well. He's been around. This is his 3rd year in the program, and he can score, he can dunk, he's athletic. A guy that can score in the paint, but also stretch the floor and shoot threes. So they've got other options. Hunter Marks is one, and Miroslav Stoffel is a big guy down low that they can go to as well. And they've got some sharpshooters off the bench. They can shoot threes.
When we talk pace of play, Sam, in the Big 12, you get a myriad of everything. There's Press Virginia. There's a Texas Tech team that'll hold you to 45 points with stifling defense. I mean, you just don't know which team, which tempo you're going to get any given night. With this Hartford squad, does it feel like they try to slow the game down more frequently, or are they going to try to press the issue and get up on Baylor early?
Yeah, they'll press the issue. They love to get out in transition. They love to run the floor. They do have a stingy defense for sure, but they love that transition offense of theirs. Steals turning into points is sort of their MO.
I love it. This team too. You talk about defense that turns into offense. I'm not seeing a great team from behind the arc. They don't shoot the 3 ball that well. Is that really, reading the stat book, does that lie? Are they a team that can light it up when they need to from deep?
Yeah, we've seen that this year. They've had some electrifying moments in terms of buzzer beaters from beyond the arc. A couple have been set up. That was the play that was drawn up, and they're shooting threes to win the game. And sometimes, there was one situation where the ball just happened to find Hunter Marks beyond the arc, and he sunk a 3 as well. So they can hit threes when they need to. Just they've worked. Like Austin Williams is a guy. He's really, really tough in the paint. He can dunk. He's athletic, and he likes to finish close to the basket.
So Sam, when it comes to this ball game between Baylor and Hartford, I got to know, with these two schools, what does it take for Hartford to beat Baylor on Friday at 2:30?
Well, I talked to Hunter Marks earlier, Drake, this week, and he was really highlighting that 3-point arc as sort of the focal point in this game, which I think you guys are probably covering down there as well. But it's the 3-point defense for Hartford that I think is a huge key to this game. They're 10th in the country in 3-point defense. They led our conference in that category, and that's been key throughout this postseason run. And we know that Baylor shoots the 3 ball quite well, so we're looking at that as a key contributor. And I think, you brought up a point earlier in terms of Austin Williams. They need some secondary scoring if they want to take down this number 1 seed, which will be the second time that an America East team has done so in the NCAA tournament.
Well, the spread was at 27. And then we had Hartford analysts on yesterday, and since having the analyst on, it's down to 25.5. So I think Vegas has been watching the show. The more they learn about Hartford, the lower that line goes. I expect it to get down to 23 after this, Sam. Before we get you out of here, though, I got our Bear Games question of the day that we play with every guest every day. Question number 1, Sam. For a men's haircut, what is the most that you would pay?
Oof. I like to keep it in that 25, 30 range. I'm a low maintenance kind of guy, Drake.
I feel like it's a safe range. That's my range. I feel like it's a safe range. And then Sam, last 2 here, Toy Story or Monsters, Inc.?
Gotta go Toy Story. They're both franchises, I guess, right? But Toy Story is the OG.
The OG franchise. And how about Up or Coco?
Oof. Both great. That's a tough one. I'll go Coco. I've seen that more recently, so I'm going to stick with that one.
Got it. All right. Sam Schwartz, thanks so much for joining the show today and talking all things Hartford. We love getting to know this team a little bit better, and it was great having you on.
Appreciate it, Drake. Looking forward to Friday.
Let's do it.
Go Hawks.
That was Sam Schwartz of the America East Conference talking Hartford basketball. We're going to hit a break right here, and as soon as we come back, Jared Stansbury joins the show to talk Iowa State. This is Up Tempo.
Long awaited and finally here, today marks the first day of March Madness as the first 4 kicks off tonight. The Madness all starts at 4:10 with the play-in games between Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's from the East region. That game is followed by Drake and Wichita State at 5:27, App State and Norfolk State at 7:40, and UCLA versus Michigan State at 8:47, with each game taking place on True TV or TBS. In NIT action last night, Richmond knocked off Toledo by double digits, 76-66, and Western Kentucky upset St. Mary's 69-67. And more NIT action takes place tonight between NC State and Davidson and SMU and Boise State. And Georgia Tech star player and ACC Player of the Year Moses Wright joins the list of athletes who will not compete in the tournament, and neither will Oklahoma star Davion Harmon. On the women's side, Baylor's Nalissa Smith continues to garner awards as she was named first-team AP All-American. In baseball, Baylor extended its winning streak to 10 games last night with a mercy rule victory over Prairie View A&M in the 7th inning, 12-2. And the number 3 Baylor Bear tennis team notched a 5-2 win over number 15 Arizona State in Waco. I'm Armstrong Simpson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Nitschke Group Insurance Agency. With the Nitschke Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Nitschke Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Nitschke Group at 1-800-258-8302.
It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jeweler, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Well, let's be nice. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll for a Baylor take on your lunch break.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. How about it, folks? Breaking news in the Big 12 today. And on the show, helping us break down the breaking news, Jared Stansbury. Thanks so much for coming on and joining us. Our resident Iowa State expert, Jared of Cyclone Fanatic. So, Jared, you guys got a new head basketball coach today, and it seems like this all moved really fast. What exactly is going on in Ames right now?
Yeah, so it was just announced officially today that TJ Otzelberger will be the new head coach at Iowa State, the 21st head coach in the history of Iowa State men's basketball. TJ is a familiar name to us, maybe not to everybody around the Big 12, but he spent 8 years at Iowa State as an assistant under Greg McDermott, Fred Hoiberg, and then 1 season under Steve Prohm as well. Then took over at South Dakota State, went to a couple NCAA tournaments there, won a couple Summit League titles with Mike Dahm, who's obviously the 7th all-time leading scorer in the history of college basketball. And then he went to UNLV, where they had a little bit of a rebuild, went a little bit under 500 the last 2 seasons. His first year, he had to turn over 10 players on the roster. This year, he had 7 freshmen, so it's a little bit hard to judge on that too much. But he's a guy who was one of the key cogs of Iowa State's turnaround in the early 2010s with Fred Hoiberg, was instrumental in recruiting. I mean, I could go down this list. I would probably forget people, but I mean, George Niang, Melvin Edgem, Naz Mitrulong, Matt Thomas, Craig Brackens, Deontay Burton, or Deontay Garrett, and so on down the line. I mean, he's one of the most important recruiters that Iowa State has had. Nobody's had more success bringing good players to Ames, Iowa than him. And I think that everybody's excited right now to bring him back to Iowa State.
Obviously, you know, his record at UNLV doesn't jump off the page. But I remember Chris Beard originally took that job before going to Iowa State. And that was a situation in which Chris Beard rejected it like that. Now, he accepted it and then left within 24 hours to go to Texas Tech. So that put Otzelberger in even a worse position at UNLV. So that kind of goes to my next question. Does his record at UNLV, a losing record, 25-26, speak to his success or how good he is as a coach?
Yeah, so actually Chris Beard took that all happened with Chris Beard before the coach before TJ, who was Marvin Menzies, and he was only there for 2 seasons, and then TJ came in. But so that's how that kind of worked out. But like I said, I mean, when TJ came in, there were 10 players that left that team. Obviously, you have 12 scholarship players in college basketball, and you had to replace 10 of them. He brought in a bunch of transfers. I think he brought in 8 transfers that next year to have a solid season. They won 12 games in the Mountain West that year and tied for second place in the league. And then, like I said, this last year, I mean, you have 7 freshmen it's in a year when you don't have the normal preparation time and things like that. That's obviously a really tough situation to walk into. I mean, it's a little bit similar to what Iowa State was just in, where they had to have 7 new guys on the roster and you weren't really able to, gel in the way that you normally would in a normal season. I think that really hurt them. So I don't know that that's the best way to judge him over these last 2 years, just because of the turnover that they've had in that program. I think it's a little bit better maybe to look at what happened in his time at South Dakota State when he went 70-33. Won in his last 2 years. I think they went 27-3 in the Summit League. And like I said, they won a couple Summit League titles, went to the NCAA tournament twice. So it's tough to judge just because of everything that was kind of going on at UNLV. But I think that, he's a guy who has had success as a head coach previously, and that was just a pretty tough situation to walk into.
With Otzelberger's relationships in Ames, we heard from a caller earlier that he's got a great relationship with not just the donors but the fans, the administration. Does that make this hire? I mean, A, is that true? Does that hold up? And B, if so, does that make this hire the right one for Iowa State?
Yeah, so he does have a great relationship, especially with Jamie Pollard. Jamie was going to Brookings to watch TJ's teams play when he was at South Dakota State. Not often, but I know that he went up there a couple times. I think maybe he went to Vegas one time to watch him, to watch his team as well. So that was already a relationship that was pretty solid. I mean, when you work with someone for 8 years, obviously you're going to get to know him pretty well. So that's one piece of it. The donors, yeah, he definitely has some people behind him in that sense. And then, the fan base, it'll be interesting to see how people kind of unite behind him. I think there's some people that are disappointed it maybe wasn't a flashier name or anything like that, which, is understandable. I think the financial realities of what it is right now too, it was going to be difficult to do anything too incredibly crazy in that sense. But I think that, those relationships are going to be key in being able to, turn this thing around. And the thing that I've learned in my time at Iowa State is it takes the right person. It takes the right kind of people to come in here and make a difference and win games. I think you've seen that with Matt Campbell, where he just really fits the culture of Iowa State. He really understands the culture at Iowa State. And that's really important. I think that Steve Prohm, not that he didn't understand the culture at Iowa State, but I think he had a difficult time of being able to navigate that stuff, especially on the recruiting trail, where he never really got a true recruiting area somewhere that they could really nail down as their area of focus. I think that TJ he's going to come in here and hit the ground running. They're going to recruit Chicago really hard. He's from Wisconsin. I imagine that they're going to try and recruit Milwaukee really hard. I think they're going to dip into Michigan, get up in there. And I think that this is going to be a very Midwest focused type of thing. And, try and sell Iowa State to people who are already familiar with Iowa State. And that's what I think that he's going to have a lot of success with. He obviously already knows how to get players' names Iowa because he's done it at a high level before.
One of the questions that I had about Otzelberger, the 2015 hiring, what kept Iowa State from going with him in 2015?
The biggest thing I think was that he didn't have head coaching experience. That's kind of a weird deal. So everybody who was working in the media at that time, we expected TJ to be the head coach. I'll even tell you, the players expected TJ to be the head coach, the guys that were on that team. And it was a weird situation because Fred Hoiberg left in June, which obviously is not the standard time that you would be hiring a basketball coach. And, so TJ had just come back from Washington. He had near unanimous support from George Niang and Matt Thomas and Naz Long and Monte Morris and all those guys. And then when Steve Prohm was the guy who was ultimately hired, that was a little bit of a surprise to everyone, I think. And the reason for that was that the president at Iowa State at the time was a lot more involved in athletics than I think anybody really wanted him to be. And he really liked to get his hands dirty on those kinds of things. And he kind of blocked the hire. And, I think in hindsight, that was a mistake. I honestly would have said that. I think I did say that at the time. But I think that now 6 years later, Iowa State basketball is course corrected. They're going to get the guy that should have had it 6 seasons ago. And, he's going to have a big task ahead of him. This is going to be a thing that's no easy job. He's obviously got to dig himself out of a pretty big hole, and we're going to see how he can do it. He's going to have to hit the ground running and start getting some good players in here and turning this thing around.
What is the leash for a guy like Otzelberger with his connections and ties to the program? Say things don't pan out in year 1 or 2, which would make sense. I mean, that's the scope of college basketball. That's not rare. If that's the case, does it feel like he's going to have time to build a program his way?
Yeah, I think he absolutely will. And that was something that Jamie Pollard talked about in his in the video that he put out after he announced Steve Prohm had been let go, was, that even Steve Prohm admitted to him that this could be a 2 or 3 year process to get this thing back on the rails and get the program back where everybody feels like it should be, which is competing at the top of the Big 12, going to NCAA tournaments, and making noise on a national scale and playing in big games. That was going to be a difficult deal. And it was going to require probably some staff changes. It was going to require some roster turnover, and just some serious changes to the way that they were doing their business under Steve Prohm. And that's why Pollard made the decision, was if we're going to have to make all these changes already, we might as well get some fresh leadership in here and just get a new voice at the top. So I think that TJ absolutely will have a leash, a pretty long leash at that, because I think that the reality is when you just look at what this team is right now, I mean, they just went 0-18 in the Big 12. You're going to have to probably pay attention to small victories, for a little while here, probably this first season. It's like, what kind of improvement can we see, just game by game and things like that, and not have it be like, oh, okay, now all of a sudden we expect to win the Big 12, and I think that he's going to have an opportunity to do that. But I will say at the same time, knowing the kind of recruiter that he is and the kind of guy that he is, I would not be surprised in this reality of a sport like basketball where, 1, 2, 3 players can really make a big difference. I would not be surprised if this does not take 3 years. I think that it could be maybe not year 1, but I wouldn't be shocked if Iowa State's back in tournament contention in year 2, because I think that he's that kind of guy as a recruiter. He's capable of bringing in some really, really good players, and drastically shifting the momentum for Iowa State basketball quickly.
Jared, just a couple more questions here for you. From a recruiting standpoint, we saw Chris Beard, when he did get to Texas Tech, immediately drew from the transfer portal, wanted to bring guys in that were JUCO guys, and win now. Is that what this is going to be for Otzelberger, or is he going to build this from the ground up with freshman guys that are his own?
I think it'll probably be a mix. The unfortunate thing for him right now is that they don't have many open scholarships, which means that some people are probably going to have to move on. And I'm sure that will be determined here in the coming days. I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa State has some pretty significant attrition over the next several weeks. So I think that then the next piece comes, like, there's going to be a lot of really good players in the transfer portal. I think that you're seeing that already. I think I saw that Penn State already had 6 players transfer out just the other day. There's going to be a ton of really good basketball players that are in that transfer portal this year, and most likely are all going to be eligible immediately starting next season. So I do think that that's going to be a big thing for them. Junior colleges, man, Iowa State has not focused much on junior college recruiting here in the last several seasons. TJ came from Chipola College when he first came to Iowa State back in the mid 2000s. So I imagine that he's going to focus on that a little bit more than he did previously. We have a really strong junior college tradition here in the state of Iowa with Indian Hills Community College, Iowa Western Community College, Southeast Community College down in Burlington. So, like, I would not be shocked at all to see him really start trying to dip into that more than what they have here the last several seasons. And then I think the backbone of everything has to be those high school kids. That's where Steve Prohm failed the most, is getting high school kids that came here, developed here, and played 4 seasons at Iowa State. The turnover was just too high. We've seen TJ have a track record of getting guys who can come in and develop and, really become ingrained in Iowa State's culture. So that's going to be the backbone of everything. But I do think at the same time, he's not going to be afraid to be, taking gambles, not gambles necessarily, but going and finding kids on that transfer portal, being proactive in that sense, and then also hitting the junior colleges as well.
And then, Jared, how about if for you personally, how confident are you in this hire? I know it wasn't the all-star rock star that some fans wanted, where you go out and get a former NBA guy or Hoiberg. But for you, is this exactly who Iowa State needed? Did they get the right guy?
I think that they did. Yeah. I think that this was the right guy for Iowa State basketball right now. Like I said before, I thought that he was the right guy 6 years ago. I think that, we're going to probably learn that here over the next several seasons, that was, they made a mistake in not doing that and handling it the way that they did. But obviously you can't change that now. Can only move forward. I think at the end of the day, they got the right guy. They got the guy who's going to come in. He understands Iowa State. He knows how to sell Iowa State. I think he's going to win a lot of basketball games here. And I don't think it's going to take him very long to get into positions to do that.
All right, Jared, before we let you get out of here, Bear Games questions of the day really quickly. Toy Story or Monsters, Inc.?
Oh man, it's Toy Story all day. Anybody who says Monsters Inc. is a goofball. That's what I'll say.
It's a goofball. It's a silly goose. Up or Coco?
Up or Coco? Yeah. Oh man, Up. Dude, I don't know. That opening sequence of Up, man, it breaks my heart every time. It's different. I try not to watch that movie too much, but I haven't seen Coco, so I guess I got to go with Up.
Got to go Up. And what's the most you'd pay for a haircut?
The most I would pay for a haircut? Well, I'm about to go get a haircut here. Well, I guess maybe I won't now. I was planning to go get a haircut today, and usually I spend $25 for it. So maybe a little bit more than that if if it was like my wedding or something like that. Yeah. But no, I'm not going to go too much more than that, I don't think.
I love it. Jared Stansbury, thanks so much for joining the show today, talking all things Iowa State basketball with the new hire.
Absolutely, man. I'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Again, Jared Stansbury, Cyclone fanatic. Iowa State has landed their guy in TJ Otzelberger. He'll be walking the sidelines in Big 12 play starting next season. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims. When we come back, we'll watch highlights from yesterday's Baylor baseball game in which the Bears got a win over Prairie View A&M. And then after that, we'll hear from Jason King. This is Up Tempo.
Long awaited and finally here, today marks the first day of March Madness as the first four kicks off tonight. The Madness all starts at 4:10 with the play-in games between Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's from the East region. That game is followed by Drake and Wichita State at 5:27, App State and Norfolk State at 7:40, and UCLA versus Michigan State at 8:47, with each game taking place on True TV or TBS. In NIT action last night, Richmond knocked off Toledo by double digits, 76-66, and Western Kentucky upset St. Mary's 69-67. And more NIT action takes place tonight between NC State and Davidson and SMU and Boise State. And Georgia Tech's star player and ACC Player of the Year Moses Wright joins the list of athletes who will not compete in the tournament, and neither will Oklahoma star Davion Harmon. On the women's side, Baylor's Nalissa Smith continues to garner awards as she was named first-team AP All-American. In baseball, Baylor extended its winning streak to 10 games last night with a mercy rule victory over Prairie View A&M in the 7th inning, 12-2. And the number 3 Baylor Bear tennis team notched a 5-2 win over number 15 Arizona State in Waco. I'm Armstrong Simpson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
No capes. Do you remember Thunderhead? Tall, storm powers. Nice man. Good with kids.
Listen. Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Dyna guy, snag on takeoff. Splashdown, sucked into a vortex. No kicks.
Here's Drake Toll and Armstrong Sims.
Welcome back to the Pickell and Glow T Bears. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. Today, volleyball is at Houston. Soccer's at LSU. All things Baylor. The Bears are competing. Tomorrow, men's basketball, Hartford. March Madness. Track at Roadrunner Invitational in UTSA. Women's golf. Women's tennis. Volleyball. Baseball against Texas this weekend. Gonna be huge. It's at home as well. Go out there. Go see them. Go watch them play. This right here, though, highlights from last night's baseball game. A win against Prairie View A&M.
You're watching Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. Less than 24 hours after extending their winning streak to 9 in a row, the Baylor Bears are back home at Baylor Ballpark. So the infield's going to cheat in now, expecting Richardson might square around. Not the case. Too hot to handle. McKenzie will come home. The 1-1 to McKenzie. Down the first base line, and the Baylor's about to grab the lead once again. All of this occurring with 2 outs in the second inning. Jared McKenzie will bring home Kyle Nevin, who got the 2-out rally started. Nader will shoot this one up the middle, and Baylor's going to get that insurance. Not one, but 2 Bears will score. Good slider. And that'll be the first strikeout recorded by Childers in relief today. Most recent 2 have been retired. Sacrifice fly and a strikeout. Here's Tyler Gordon. Up the middle. What a snag from Pineda, and that's your inning. Runners on the corners, nobody out. And you're about to still have 2 on, but a brand new score. As Jared McKenzie with his second RBI of the day. Now, in this case, warning track power with that outfield alignment means maybe an inside to Parker. Thomas in the shallow center. That one still dropped down even with the outfielders playing in, and that is now 6 consecutive singles for Baylor. And this may do it. Play coming up at the plate. That's your ball game. Jared McKenzie comes home. Run rule kicks in. Final score tonight, 12-2 Baylor.
Take that, Prairie View A&M baseball team. Baylor on top by 10 double digits. How about it? And then this, ahead of the volleyball match tonight between Baylor and Houston in Houston. Check this out from Coach McGuire and company.
We'll start with Hannah. Hannah, National Player of the Week, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. 398, is that right, y'all's offense?
Yes.
From the Texas State match?
Yes.
So what do you feel like made the biggest impact? Like, how were you able to get so many different hitters involved?
Honestly, it was totally just the team, like the synergy, like totally, we were totally on it. The passers were passing really great, like playing well together, communicating well. And then the hitters were all just loud and available and like communicating with me and just like really in rhythm. So yeah, it was just like easy to find everyone, and they were just finding the open spots on the court, being really smart about their shots, and mixing it up and putting the ball away. So props to everyone, because it was really, really good.
Good. Awesome. And then kind of going off that, Kara, like you two really connected maybe the best all spring season, would you say? And in that match, what do you kind of think made the difference? Like, was there something in practice y'all had been working on, or what?
We tried out a new set that I think really just worked.
A new set?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the new set? Sorry, I missed it.
No, you're good. It was just a high shoot, honestly, and it worked really well for us.
Is that something you think y'all will start doing more now? Like, you think it'll work against the teams this weekend?
Yeah, I think we've adjusted it a bit, but I do think that it's going to work well against the opposing teams that we play this weekend for sure.
Nice. So Hannah, we'll go back to you on this. What do we know so far about, because it's University of Houston and Rice, right?
Yeah.
What have we kind of scouted on Houston? Are they first?
Yeah, they're tomorrow. I would say just that, I mean, obviously they're a great team. And so just like knowing that we have to go play Baylor volleyball to win, and it's going to take our 100%, and we don't want to dip down to 99. And we just need to keep our standard. And yeah.
Nice. And then Kara, how are y'all feeling about this? Kind of gets you back into the rhythm of what y'all were doing in the fall, playing back-to-back days. Is that something you guys feel like now is not even, it almost feels normal, or is it still weird to be playing back-to-back days?
I feel like it's neither normal nor weird. It's just playing volleyball. So it's like, we play one game and we're prepared for that game, and then we play another game and we prepare for that game just as we would any other game.
On Hannah, so played out of her mind, right? How, like when you've been the first to say it, of like Callie Williams, if Hannah's, this great of a setter, Callie Williams is such an incredible player too. Like, with the amount of success and like consistency you're now seeing in Hannah, like how do you continue to kind of motivate Callie and work with her?
That fortunately Callie has a strong drive and a healthy intrinsic motivation. Reassure her of the confidence we have in her. Absolutely, for sure. I think she is well deserving in my mind of like all conference as a setter for us, because Hannah barely was able to play. So that's the joys of coaching. Got two great athletes in the same position. We were struggling with rhythm, so kind of went with one and night flowed, and we do a lot of setter compare stuff. And like I said, they both bring a lot of great qualities in that. So, but you don't have to go that far back, and you just go to Pepperdine when we were hit fifth set, and Callie, got the win. She played all of the fifth set for us. And so there is like I said, she brings a great swagger and toughness to her. If anything, was fired up about it. And sometimes we need some rhythm, sometimes we need some fire, but definitely Callie is is extremely trustworthy as a person and as a player. So she has never given me any reason to not play her. Both have given me lots of reasons they should both play. So.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool way to put it. Last question. Are y'all pretty healthy this weekend? Like any injuries or anyone feeling banged up? Or
I feel like we've done so good without having COVID, but we've passed strep around the team. So I think between 5 or 6 have all had it for their 2 days and get the medicine, and then someone else has it and is out. So, it's gone from Ben to Yasi to Bree to AJ to
oh my God.
I've kind of lost track. So but we had 2 days off. I thought everyone looked really fresh on Monday, Tuesday. So, yeah.
It's funny. Funny is probably not the correct word, but to think about, like, you almost forget sometimes there's like strep throat, the flu, like other things that can circulate. And I'm like, oh, COVID's the only thing that could make someone not feel well.
But like no rolled ankles and no hamstrings or groins or stuff like that. So that's not contagious and hasn't come around. So
we'll start with.
How about it? You got a decently healthy volleyball team going into tonight's match against Houston on the road at Houston. And, how about this? Scotty B. the Baylor King says, breaking news. I was asked by ESPN to do something about virtual fans for women's basketball tournament. I'll go crazy and make up a bunch of cheers. Sweet. Scotty B can help out ESPN with Baylor women's basketball and the women's basketball tournament. When we come back, Jason King joins the show today to talk all things Baylor basketball, breaking down matchups in the tournament and where Baylor sits as they go into a game with Hartford tomorrow at 2:30. This is Uptempo.
Long awaited and finally here, today marks the first day of March Madness as the first 4 kicks off tonight. The Madness all starts at 4:10 with the play-in games between Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's from the East region. That game is followed by Drake and Wichita State at 5:27. App State and Norfolk State at 7:40, and UCLA versus Michigan State at 8:47, with each game taking place on True TV or TBS. In NIT action last night, Richmond knocked off Toledo by double digits, 76-66, and Western Kentucky upset St. Mary's, 69-67. And more NIT action takes place tonight between NC State and Davidson, and SMU and Boise State. And Georgia Tech's star player and ACC Player of the Year Moses Wright joins the list of athletes who will not compete in the tournament, and neither will Oklahoma star Davion Harmon. On the women's side, Baylor's Nalissa Smith continues to garner awards as she was named first-team AP All-American. In baseball, Baylor extended its winning streak to 10 games last night with a mercy rule victory over Prairie View A&M in the 7th inning, 12-2. And the number 3 Baylor Bear tennis team notched a 5-2 win over number 15 Arizona State in Waco. I'm Armstrong Simpson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm, welcome home.
Bird Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership, online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll for a Baylor take on your lunch break.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Thursday, everybody. Big Thursday as March Madness gets kicked off today. 4 games in the first 4 preliminary rounds as teams try to punch their ticket to the round of 64. And joining us today to help us break down Baylor's side of the bracket, the entire South, and give us his takes on March Madness, Jason King of SicEm365. Jason, thanks for coming on.
Hey, appreciate you having me. Exciting day.
It's big. You know, Jason, I want to start here. This is the first time in now 2 years, well over 600 days, that we're going to see March Madness basketball. I mean, just how cool is this?
It is. I mean, I think everyone's so hungry and eager for it. I think it's something the country needs. I mean, obviously, the NFL season was somewhat therapeutic, but I mean, you know, the last time we saw college basketball of this magnitude was 2 years ago. I can remember being the Texas Tech Virginia game, and who knew that would be the last national championship game we'd see for a while. So I'm ready for it. I think, you know, everyone's filling out their brackets and making plans to go to sports bars or whatever to watch. So it's going to be a fun weekend and a fun few weeks.
Jason, I want to know, when it comes to this bracket that was released, I'll tell you, when I first saw it, I was really leery of Baylor's second-round matchups and even the South as a whole. Yeah. But as I started to see this bracket, there are just good teams everywhere, no matter what quadrant you look at. When you first assess this bracket, what do you think?
I feel the same way. It's kind of like if you think Baylor got a tough draw, it's like, well, where do you put them where it would be easy? I mean, it's all tough. I think there's so much parity. You know, I mean, there's a lot of really good teams, not a lot of elite teams. Maybe Baylor, Illinois, Gonzaga gets all to that elite range. There's some knocking on the door right behind them. I do think Gonzaga, when you look at their path to the Final Four, it's certainly, if any of them seem easy, it might be theirs. I don't think they'll have any problem. Oh, sorry about that. I don't think they'll have any problem in their second round game with Oklahoma or Missouri, or really much problem getting to the Final Four. But that's going to be a bear for everyone else to get there. And when I look at Baylor and their situation, I mean, that North Carolina game scares the heck out of me if it is indeed North Carolina, just because of their size, and also because I just think that the pressure will really be on Baylor in that situation. I mean, for 2 years now, the nation has talked about how they're one of the top teams, how they're a national title contender. They didn't get a chance to show it last year when the tournament was canceled, and they've been building toward it now. Here they are with their first number 1 seed in school history. There's a lot of question marks about how they've been playing the last 2 weeks. I just think a lot of building tension and pressure kind of all is going to end up in that game, and it'll be interesting to see if they come out with that swag and that alpha dog attitude that we've seen from them so much over the past few years, or if they'll come out a little bit tight. So I think that could play a factor in the game just as much as North Carolina, and hopefully it won't be a factor for Baylor, but it very well could.
Jason, I want to take you back before we go through the rest of this bracket here. Fran Fraschilla last year when Baylor was competing in Coastal Carolina in that tournament before conference play, referenced Baylor as a blue blood. That's been well over a year now when he said that, and a lot of people pose the question, okay, is Baylor a blue blood? And I want to know, if Baylor is able to win a national championship, make a Final Four, do they even have a case for that title right now?
I think when you use the term blue blood, that's something that isn't just earned over a 4 to 5 year run of success. That's something that takes almost decades to learn. And that's why when you say blue blood, it's a small handful of schools. I mean, you're talking about Duke and Kansas and, UCLA and Indiana and North Carolina and Kentucky. And a few of those schools have fallen off lately, but I still think that their history and what they've done over the course of time puts them into that category. So as good as Baylor's been the last 4 or 5 years, I still think they've got a long way to go before you can, permanently place them in that group with those other schools. I mean, at the end of the day, they have one conference title to show for it and nothing else. So, yeah, but once they start winning championships and win at least one, maybe two, and string together a few more league titles and have a, not a 4 or 5 year run at sustained success, but a 10 to 15 year run of it, which they're very capable of based on the momentum they have right now. And, yeah, I think eventually they could get there without question. And it's going to help, too, if Scott Drew stays on board and keeps things rolling, and I think he will.
Jason, reverting back to the bracket and Baylor's first round matchup with Hartford, obviously none of us in studio are huge experts on the Hartford Hawks, but what have you heard about this team or this program? What do you expect out of game one?
I'll be honest, I haven't studied it too much. I know that from what I hear, they have some pretty good guards and, won their conference, which is always tough, but it seems like the things that they're good at is probably what Baylor's really good at. I mean, they've got good guard play. Baylor has elite guard play. I just think that they'll have a hard time matching up. And I just expect Baylor to come out on fire, in this game. And I don't even mean making shots. I mean, hopefully that'll be the case as well. But I just think that after 4 or 5 days off in time to really get pumped up for this moment, and obviously with some questions surrounding their energy and effort the last few games, I think they'll come out with something to prove and stomp them, But I'll tell you what, guys, I've been doing this a long time, and I've also seen some number 1 seeds come out in that first game. I can remember covering Kansas with Drew Gooden and Nick Collison and Kirk Heinrich and Jeff Boschee and Wayne Simeon and Keith Langford. They came out when they were the number 1 seed and played Holy Cross, and I think it was a 1-point game at halftime, and they ended up winning 70-57. So even if Baylor does come out and have some jitters and the game's a 15-point win instead of a 30-point win, I don't think we should panic. They'll just be knocking some jitters off.
When you look at that matchup in round number 2, you already alluded to it a bit with North Carolina and the prospect of Baylor playing the Tar Heels. It's obviously not going to be easy, but when you build your bracket, when you analyze this Baylor team and who they're matched up with, do you send them to the Sweet 16 at least?
I do. I do. I just think that they're – I mean, it's kind of simply put, but I just think they're too good. I mean, I just think we sometimes I think – and I've done this a lot. I'm guilty of it. You cover a team so much and you see them game to game to game, you start to nitpick them and you start to find all these little things that are wrong. And oh, Adam Flagler's struggling. Does that mean they're going to lose? Or the bench has had 2 games in a row where they weren't as good. The defense was bad for me. At the end of the day, we need to, like, myself included, need to step back and look at the bigger picture and say this team's 22-2, you know, and they're really, really good. And until, you know, a few weeks ago, until the COVID pause, no one had stayed within 8 points of them. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like when they're playing, and I hate to call North Carolina a mid-tier team. I mean, it's freaking North Carolina, but I mean, they're an 8 seed. And when you're playing these mid-tier teams, if you're that good and you're truly elite, then you should win these games. And I really do think Baylor is that good. That being said, I mean, a cold shooting night, or you know, from 2 or 3 guys could change the whole direction. I mean, think about it. Like, think about how good and how hot, at least from the offensive output standpoint, you know, Butler and Teague and Mitchell have been the last 3 or 4 games when the bench is not giving them the production that they're used to. I mean, all 3 of those guys have been scoring 15 plus now for 4 or 5 games in a row, while the bench hasn't contributed anything. And so, what if one of those guys is off this against North Carolina, and the bench continues to be off? Then they could be in trouble. We're almost taking a 20-point night from Teague for granted lately, but that doesn't always happen. And let's hope he can continue it, though.
Jason, I want to know, before we break anything down into the Sweet 16 and later, is there anything you've heard in media sessions with Scott Drew or the players this week that really stands out to you, that lets you know that this team is prepared and not overlooking Hartford or North Carolina in this quadrant of the South?
Well, the thing that just stands out for me is I sense a team that needed a break. When I say a break, I mean more of a mental break than anything. A team that's the team that was playing at 1.3 games in 5 days, I think it was, against top 25 teams. You know, while all the while trying to bounce back from their COVID pause and things of that sort. They weren't getting the practice. People were coming down on them and being critical of them, and rightfully so in a lot of situations. But I think the fact that what stands out to me is these guys needed 3 or 4 days off to regroup, get back on the practice court, get their swag and energy back. And that's what I sense, is that that's happening, and that they're going to be in the right place mentally and physically when they take the court Friday.
Looking past the second round of 32 and into the Sweet 16, when you analyze your bracket between Villanova, Winthrop, Purdue, and North Texas, which of those teams do you like it to make it out of that pod?
Yeah, I would lean toward Purdue. I just think that they're, especially with Gillespie being out for Villanova, I would lean toward Purdue. Obviously, being a friend of Grant McCaslin, I would love to see them pull an upset. But I think Purdue's really good, and I've always thought Matt Painter was one of the more underrated coaches in America. He's had some really, really good teams there, and it is an experienced tournament coach, very savvy, very good X's and O guy, and they're going to be hard to beat if that's indeed who Baylor ends up playing. So that's who I've got going to the Sweet 16 right there.
Jason, if we draw it up without upset, and it ends up being Baylor against North Carolina, then Baylor against Purdue, then Baylor against Ohio State, I mean, what is your confidence level that the Bears are able to make it out of a gauntlet like that?
Well, it's difficult, especially when you start playing those Big Ten teams, because it's just such a different style of play, you know, than Baylor's used to. I actually interviewed Paul Mills, you know, former Baylor assistant, current Oral Roberts coach, last night, just for a story I'll post later. But he talked, because they're playing Ohio State. Yeah. He was like, you know, I'm watching all these Big Ten tapes, and it's like they're the football conference. They're the physical bully league. Yeah. Like, it's just such a different style than the. He's like, these guys are beating each other up. The games are all in the 50s. It's brutal, you know, and it's just something that, you know, Baylor hasn't seen a lot of this year, and at least not consistently. So it'll be interesting to see how, you know, they react to that when they're playing Purdue and potentially Ohio State. So I still think, though, that Baylor is so talented offensively and have so many guys that can put the ball in the basket, especially on the perimeter, that I would like them in all those matchups. I really would, unless they just come out and just choke and play nervous and the collar gets tight and they start missing shots they normally make. And I think that's the one thing that could hold them back. That, and obviously a big man going off on them and not being able to find a way to combat that. I mean, let's face it. I mean, that probably is going to happen. They probably are going to get scored on, you know, down in the paint quite a bit at times. So they've got to make those outside shots and find a way to limit those touches.
Jason, you mentioned that, and Purdue is one of those teams, North Carolina, Purdue both, that can beat you down low. I mean, Matt Painter is known for having dominant big men on his team. Do you see Baylor getting through 2 straight games where they've got to go up tit for tat with guys that are big, or Baylor guards, the Baylor guards just that good that they shouldn't have an issue?
Well, I think it'll be a challenge, even with Baylor's guards playing well. It's not going to be easy. Luckily there would be a 4 or 5 day break in between that Carolina game and the Purdue game, so that would help. But I think they can do it. They played. The thing is, we got to remember too, they played quality big men all year. I mean, let's go back to the Illinois game. I mean, Kofi Cockburn didn't do much against. Now he was in foul trouble. That's the thing is, people can say, "Oh, they shut him down." Well, he got in foul trouble a lot in that game too, if I remember correctly, and didn't play the minutes he's normally used to playing. I believe. The first time they played Kansas, David McCormack, 2 or 3 quick fouls in the first half. He didn't play the minutes he was normally playing, so that helps. I mean, and maybe that could happen against, North Carolina or Purdue, and maybe they could find a way to get those guys on the bench really quickly. So that could be a potential factor as well. But they face quality bigs all year. Culver from West Virginia, Sims from Texas. It's not like they haven't seen this before.
How about when you build this bracket, when you put it all together and you think about your Elite Eight, your Final Four, who are those teams that you're really liking right now, Jason?
Well, usually around this time of year, I usually stay with the teams that are the hottest, and I think that Illinois right now has been playing as well as anyone. They're such an explosive team on offense, and obviously Gonzaga. I think I have both of those teams in the Final Four. I would love to see Houston, give Illinois a run and get past them. And that other bracket, I mean, a lot of people are going with Alabama. A lot of people are going with Michigan. I like to be a little bit different. I think I might lean toward Texas. I don't feel strongly about it, but if you had to kind of pick a upset or kind of an off-the-charts one, maybe that would be it, just because I love their talent. I love their backcourt. And Sims really finally, after 3 plus years, seems to have kind of started to play with a little bit of moxie, and I like what he's doing. So I think that's a team that could make a nice run. And if I was going to have a cookie pick in my bracket, that might be it.
With this Baylor team, too, I want to know, where is the floor for this squad, and where is the ceiling headed into March Madness?
No. I think the floor is losing in the second round, and that could definitely happen. I mean, seen it happen to great teams, and number one. I mean, usually, a lot of times, not all 4 number 1 seeds always make that second weekend, so that would be the floor. And if that happened, it would be a huge, massive disappointment, even if it was against the Blue Blood like North Carolina. But the ceiling, I think, they definitely could win a national championship. When they were about to play Gonzaga back in December, I felt really good about their chances in that game after watching them play Illinois a few nights earlier. I thought this team is every bit as good as Gonzaga. I think they match up well with them, and I think if that were indeed the championship game, Baylor could win it. And I do think, I have Gonzaga in the championship, but I think so many people are just almost sharp taking the Sharpie pick and putting them in the championship. Gonzaga can get beat too, guys. There's other good teams out there, and just like we're talking about Baylor potentially having an off night weekend as well. So that's what I said. There's so much parity this year, and that's what makes the tournament fun. But one thing I've always hated about the tournament is I feel like if every team that doesn't win it, the other, if you don't win it, I feel like your seasons look better than disappointment. And if Baylor were to make the Final Four, or even the Elite Eight, finish with a 26-3 record or something like that, but let's keep things in perspective and remember it fondly. You know what I mean? And now, this is a special team, a special group of guys, and who have been great ambassadors for the school and for college basketball, and they value the right things, they play the right way. I hope that no matter what happens, people, will remember that, when it's all said and done, no matter how they finish.
Jason, last question before we get to our Bear games here. Cinderella. This time of year, everybody likes to pick their Cinderella they think is going to go make a run, whether it be Sweet 16 or Elite 8. Some have gone further than that. Who do you like to be that team that sneaks up on somebody?
Oh, boy, that's tough. What's funny is a lot of people, I see a lot of people thinking maybe Oral Roberts could pull an upset against Ohio State simply because they're such a high-scoring team. They actually, when I was talking to Mills last night. They average more 3-pointers a game than Baylor. I think that's the one team that averages more makes per game from three than Baylor. They make over 11 a game, shoot a pretty good percentage. I think they lead the nation in free throw percentage. So maybe they go get hot and then pull off the 215 upset. I think Winthrop obviously is a trendy pick, and Loyola is another team, especially with their coach having been to a Final Four. Now they have a favorable first round matchup with Georgia Tech because one of Georgia Tech's best players is out. Wouldn't shock me to see them do some nice things as well.
How about it, Jason King? Before we get you out of here, Bear Games questions of the day. Number one, how much would you pay for a haircut? What's the most that you would drop on a haircut?
Yeah. Well, it's a good question. Recently I dropped. Are we including tip in this?
We can include tip.
Yeah. Okay. I paid about I think it was $65 recently because used to I was just a Supercuts guy, but now like they have these places here in Frisco where I live. Like you get the haircut, but then they give you like the back massage and the arm. They put the hot towel over your face and shave the back. It's pretty. It's an hour-long process, and I think it was $45. And I walked away feeling so good. I think I tipped $20. So.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
That's the all-star at Sports Clips. That's.
I used to get the all-star. This is like the MVP. It's like
the MVP.
Sports. Yeah.
Jason, we've got our Disney movie madness going on. Today's matchups are between Monsters Inc. and Toy Story. That's number one. Who you got in that one?
Toy Story. I haven't seen Monsters Inc. That's embarrassing to say. What? I was hoping you were going to say like The Jungle Book versus Fox in the House or something. Some of the older ones.
Well, this one's even worse. This is new era Disney in this quadrant. That's Up and Coco. Up and Coco.
I haven't seen either one, man.
Wow. You know what?
I'm not watching Disney movies in my 40s.
I figured you would be. You strike me as one of those guys who's just kicking it back and watching some Disney movies in the afternoon.
When my kids have them on, I don't watch it unless they play one of the old school ones. Then I'll watch it. I should though. I'm too busy watching Netflix crime documentaries or something.
Hey, I can't slight you for that. Jason King, thanks so much for joining the show, talking all things Baylor basketball headed into March Madness.
Okay. Appreciate you having me on. Thanks.
Absolutely. Again, that was Jason King, SicEm365 basketball beat writer, talking Baylor basketball as we head into the tournament. Doug Feinberg joins the show up next. Before that, though, this tweet, Armstrong, what in the what? Bo Nix yesterday, Josh Vital posted, Vital, I think he posted, Auburn quarterback Bo Nix on handling criticism says, one thing that always sticks out to me is, even going to the cross, Jesus had people talking bad about him. So if they were talking about him, then they're going to consistently talk bad about me. That's for sure. The first comment says, Jesus was a great American, but he never endured the grind of an SEC schedule. Bo's being honest.
Modest.
What kind of comparison is Bo Nix making between media criticism and Christ?
If that's not just the biggest perversion of Jesus going to the cross. Compare yourself to that.
This comment says, did Bo Nix just, checks notes, compare himself to ... Jesus?
It's not even he's comparing himself. He's saying, well, if Jesus had bad people talking about him, then I definitely will.
I mean, I guess I can roundabout see what he's going for, but
I can't.
I don't think who wasn't like, no.
Wait, if Jesus, a man who was being crucified, killed, had bad people talking about him, then I definitely will.
Then me
makes no sense.
Me being a quarterback at an SEC, it's got 71 retweets, 218 quote tweets. I think, probably shouldn't have said that one. I'm Drake Toll, that's Armstrong Sims. Doug Feinberg joins us. We come back. This is Up Tempo.
Long awaited and finally here. Today marks the first day of March Madness as the first four kicks off tonight. The Madness all starts at 4:10 with the play-in games between Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's from the East region. That game is followed by Drake and Wichita State at 5:27, App State and Norfolk State at 7:40, and UCLA versus Michigan State at 8:47, with each game taking place on True TV or TBS. In NIT action last night, Richmond knocked off Toledo by double digits, 76-66, and Western Kentucky upset St. Mary's, 69-67. And more NIT action takes place tonight between NC State and Davidson and SMU and Boise State. And Georgia Tech star player and ACC Player of the Year Moses Wright joins the list of athletes who will not compete in the tournament, and neither will Oklahoma star Davion Harmon. On the women's side, Baylor's Nalissa Smith continues to garner awards as she was named first-team AP All-American. In baseball, Baylor extended its winning streak to 10 games last night with a mercy rule victory over Prairie View A&M in the 7th inning, 12-2. And the number 3 Baylor Bear tennis team notched a 5-2 win over number 15 Arizona State in Waco. I'm Armstrong Simpson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trusted doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
You want to know why Stonewood Dental is so successful? Listen to what happy customers have to say.
It's pleasant. It's different than any other dentist's office. I really feel like they care. And it's not that you're here for 2 hours waiting on someone to take care of you. It's quick and easy, and I bring my kids, and my kids love being here too. They really love the treasure box. Staff is really nice and accommodating, real friendly. You feel more like home. It's not sterile looking. Everybody has their own personalized rooms with decorations and decor, and they'll even have a blanket for you when it's cold. I've recommended people to actually come here, and they are patients now. I really love it here. It feels like family.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Paulie, give me some of your tots. No, go find your own. Come on, give me some of your tots.
No, I'm freaking starved. I didn't get to eat anything today.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Pauline, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with Dave all day.
Your place for a Baylor take on your lunch break. Here's Drake Toll.
All right, folks, welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Jersey Day. Thursday, as it's known in Guam. Today, we're breaking down all things college basketball, women's college basketball, men's college basketball, as we've got tournament time kicking off today. And to help us break it all down, Doug Feinberg, who we confirmed 2 weeks ago on this show is not a mob boss. Doug, does that fact still reign true?
It does, Drake. And I must say, it's great to see you back in your normal surroundings of the studio. To actually see the studio is great. You've upgraded, and I've downgraded to a hotel room in my house. So we're about even.
It's my natural habitat, and that is going to be your natural habitat for what now 3.5 weeks or so, as you're in San Antonio in the for the NCAA women's tournament. Tell me, really, Doug, the vibes you're getting around the city. Does it feel like a normal tournament year?
So I got in last night, so I haven't explored. I don't plan on exploring that much because, there is that virus going on. Although in the cab ride over from the airport, we went past the Riverwalk, which is the big area down here that's like the central hub, so to speak. And listen, I'm not taking it from anybody. I know it's been a rough year. It did not look like there was a virus going on. I'll phrase it that way. I know it's St. Patty's Day. Everyone celebrate. It had that look of like it's 2019. And I was like, okay, this is not what, probably should be going on right now. But the important thing, the players are safe. The coaches are safe. They're locked in their hotel rooms. They're not intermixing with those fans and those Texaners. Is that the right term for Texas?
You know what? I'll take it. I'll accept that. I am not a native Texaner myself, so I think that is plenty appropriate.
But it was they'll be safe. I'm not so sure about people who are just hanging out in the Riverwalk area.
Well, I tell you what, at least those players, I mean, it seems like they're taking every step to make sure they're safe and to make sure that COVID-19 is not an issue amongst teams and the players in the bubble. What have you heard, maybe, Doug, from whether it be players or coaches via their media availabilities in the last week or so about how some of these teams may be handling the bubble?
Well, let's go with what you first said. NCAA had a call this morning. There's one positive test so far out of the 2,600 that they were taking between teams, officials, everyone. So that's a great sign. I mean, that's way lower than the average in the nation. I'm sure it's lower than the average in Texas. So that is great. And yeah, the players and coaches I've talked to, they're in quarantine or just getting out of quarantine. And, their hotel rooms are places that they know pretty well right now. So, but they're handling. I mean, listen, I think we chatted a couple of weeks ago how the mental aspect is going to be a big determination of who wins this national championship, which we'll get to later. But I think it's going to hit them at some point. Like, I've been in the same room for 2 weeks now, or 2.5 weeks now. You go stir crazy.
How about the bracket? Released now just a couple of days ago. I'm sure you've had some time to analyze the matchups you like, some of the teams you like, and where they're slated. I'll tell you, at first glance from me, being someone who covers Baylor, I thought, okay, Baylor and UConn Elite Eight didn't really line up, especially where the AP had those two teams ranked coming into March Madness. What did you make of that and where Baylor landed?
In the past, no one wanted to see UConn. It was always, let's avoid UConn as long as possible. This is not one of those years. I think Baylor got as good a landing spot as anybody else, so to speak, because I think there's 8 or 9 teams or maybe even 10 that could win the title right now, and there's no dominant team. So, yeah, you want to avoid usually UConn as long as you can. But I think being a 2 seed in that region is not terrible. Being a 2 seed anywhere is not terrible. I think they're okay. I mean, that Baylor-Tennessee matchup should be pretty good if they get both that far in the round before the potential UConn matchup. So I think it's good. I mean, I think the committee did as good a job as they can for the information they had, because there weren't as many non-conference games for them to choose from. To say, hey, if Baylor played UConn in the regular season like they were supposed to before Coach Mulkey got COVID, you'd say, okay, one of those teams beat the other one. That's going to affect where they're seated. So who knows what's going to happen this year from that standpoint.
I want to know, too, with Gino Auriemma testing positive for COVID-19, obviously his health is number one. I think it's being lost on a lot of people. I mean, the guy's got COVID-19. So often when players or coaches get it, the question's never like, hey, how are they doing? Are they all right? It's always, hey, when are they back? When do protocols clear we can get them back? But for a guy like that, and I don't want to seem, cold in asking, but what changes with this team when Gino Auriemma's gone?
So, Drake, it's funny you say that because last Friday, I actually had a Zoom conversation, one of my women's basketball conversation series with Gino, We had a 45-minute conversation, and then sure enough, a couple days later, comes out he has COVID. And this was a Zoom conversation. And my phone blew up of, I can't believe you gave him COVID through the conversation. I'm like, first off, it's not funny because of COVID.
Right.
The good news for him and for the Huskies is he had the second virus shot. So he's asymptomatic. So he's really not showing any, I should say second vaccine shot, not second virus shot. But he hasn't shown any real major symptoms. I'm sure it's a light case of it, which is a good reason to get vaccinated, because if you do get it, it's not going to be where you're hospitalized and potentially having major issues. So from that standpoint, he's doing well health-wise. From the team standpoint, actually their assistant Shea Ralph just had to leave the bubble also because someone in her family tested positive for COVID, which hopefully that person's be okay. But I think Chris Daly's been there for all 1,100 plus of his wins by his side. So the players are saying, like, she's actually a little more strict than he is. So they're going to miss him from that standpoint. But as far as winning the first 2 rounds, that's what he misses. I think they'll be okay with Chris Daly in charge as if Gino were there.
I want to know, with this Baylor squad and the prospect of meeting up with UConn, which they were supposed to do earlier this year, Michelle Vopel picked Baylor actually to end up going to the Final Four through this Riverwalk region of the bracket. And one of the things which she covers Baylor very, very closely, so that's no surprise to me. She gets to see them up close and personal pretty often. When you think about the possibility of Baylor meeting up with UConn and that matchup between Beckers and Nalissa Smith, is that something you even see happening? Will both of those teams make it to the Elite Eight?
So I picked it the other way. I picked Baylor and UConn to meet, and I'll be honest with you, it was a toss-up. I mean, they're both 2 very good teams. Nalissa Smith is playing great. The whole Baylor team's been playing great for the last month or so. So I could see it going either way. I had to pick one of the 2. I picked UConn just because for the years I've been covering, since 2008, UConn's made the Final Four every season I've covered the NCAA tournament Final Four. So why go against what's worked for 13 years? But Baylor is playing great. I think their athleticism could give UConn some issues because they're pretty good top to bottom as far as being able to match up and run and get on the court up and down pretty quickly. So I wouldn't be shocked if Baylor beat UConn. I wouldn't go, oh my God, it's a major upset. It's a really good team beating another really good team.
Talking with some of these Big 12 teams being in the women's tournament here, one of the things that I want to mention before going into a couple of those schools, like your Oklahoma States, who have the possibility of trying to make a run in this March Madness, Sherry Cole at Oklahoma retiring after 25 seasons. I mean, she was Kim Mulkey's kryptonite, stiff competition. The battles between those two early on in both of their careers were unbelievable. And now Cole retiring from Oklahoma. Was that any surprise to you? Did it catch you off guard at all?
I had heard rumblings that this might be her last year, not from her, but just from people I know in the business and coaches. I wasn't surprised, but in the sense I wasn't shocked. I was surprised, but I wasn't shocked by it, if that makes sense. You're right. She. I mean, for years when I first started in this business, I said in 2007, 2008, Oklahoma was one of the top teams in the country. They were in the Final Four every year. They played UConn in national championship games when they Courtney Paris, and then go before that you have Stacey Dales in the early 2000s. I mean, Sherry Cole has had a tremendous career there and built that program up to what it was, which was one of the best teams in the country. So really, I mean, she's been in it 25 years. Go off to retirement. I'm sure she'll have a wonderful life after basketball, so to speak. She may still be involved in some way, not with the team as a coach, but in other aspects. She's very good on the mental aspect of the game and can help people out that way. Maybe other coaches, maybe she'd be a consultant, so to speak, to coaches around the country. But what a great career she's had and really built that program up from when she first took over 25 years ago.
You know, Sherry Cole and Karen Aston both remind me a lot of each other. When I categorize them with Kim Mulkey and coaches like that have faced off against each other for the last decade or more and have had success. I mean, they've been in some battles. When you think about a coach like Sherry Cole, who's only 56, I think we were talking about yesterday, for her and Aston both, I mean, do you see two coaches that have had success in the collegiate game, both of them being back on a sideline, and I know it's speculation, but both of them being back on a sideline sooner than later?
I would say there's a better chance that Coach Aston would be back on the sideline before Coach Cole. I mean, listen, Coach Aston was let go by Texas as opposed to Coach Cole retiring. So it's basically she chose to step away versus being forced to step away. So Yeah, I'm never going to say never for seeing Coach Cole back on the sideline, but right now I'd be surprised if she's coaching. I mean, maybe she'll do TV work, she'll be on the sideline that way, but I don't think she'll be coaching anytime soon.
I think she would be a great TV personality, and I'm sure that Big 12 now at least would be silly not to try to strike something up with Sherry Cole now announcing her retirement. Back to the bracket, though, I got to know, Doug, when you look outside of Baylor, outside the Riverwalk region, what are some of these first-round matchups or even matchups that you see moving forward into the Sweet 16 or later that you're really intrigued by?
Well, I'll be honest, Drake, the bracket's a bit of a blur to me. It's funny. I look at it and I think I analyze it, but I couldn't tell you exactly who's in which region. One matchup I'm really excited to see, which I will definitely be at and covering in the first round, is Michigan versus Florida Gulf Coast. I think this is a 6-11 game, and Michigan obviously is really good. Naz Hillman was the Big Ten Player of the Year. She's the first Michigan player to earn AP All-America honors, the second team member yesterday. They're really talented. That said, so is Florida Gulf Coast. And I think they've won 24 straight games, whatever the number is now, led by Kirsten Bell, who's transferred from Ohio State, who was a top-tier prospect for them. And they haven't lost since she became eligible. So they're whatever an O with her in the lineup, which is not many teams can say that. So that's why I think that's going to be a really good first-round matchup. I mean, yeah, I think the top six, the top ones and twos should advance without too much trouble, as they usually do. But other than that, it could be interesting. And there's some pretty good teams that are down there in the 12 range. UC Davis is pretty solid. I think Stephen F. Austin is another team that's really maybe underrated. So we'll see. Playing neutral court games against a team that you may not know much about without really any fans there, you might have some upsets that you wouldn't normally see in the NCAAs on the women's side.
One of the ones, Doug, that I'm looking at, this Arkansas matchup against Wright State in round one. I see the Lady Razorbacks getting past that, and UC Davis could give Missouri State a run for their money, but I'm really, really intrigued by the possibility of an Arkansas-Missouri State game in round two, and the reason why is I see this Arkansas team as very volatile under Coach Mike Neighbors. It seems like sometimes they live or die by the outside shot, and we've seen them die against teams that aren't that great, and we've seen them live against teams that are top 5 caliber. What do you make of a team like Arkansas in the NCAA tournament?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You live by the three, you die. If they're not shooting well, it could be a long night for Arkansas, and they can put points on the board, no question. I mean, listen, they knocked off UConn. No one else this year, so that's a feather in the cap, so to speak, of Coach Neighbors. But they've also lost some games they probably shouldn't have. So I think you're right. If they're not shooting well from the outside, they could lose in the first round, they could lose in the second round, or if they are shooting well, they can make a run to potentially the Final Four.
I'll tell you what, I will not forget when Mike Neighbors made that run to the Final Four. I mean, one of the great Cinderella stories in March Madness NCAA tournament play as Washington's head coach. And I think this Arkansas team reminds me a lot of, if they get hot from deep, they might as well just go do the same thing. It's very possible. But a team that I'm looking at out of that Alamo region with them is Stanford. Stanford has impressed me a lot across their games that I've gotten to see them play this year. What do you like about Stanford, and do you have them going to the Final Four?
It's more what I do not like about Stanford, and that's nothing, because they have experience, they have senior leadership, they have a depth, they have guards, they have post players, they have a Hall of Fame coach. And here, to me, is the biggest thing. They went on the road for 9 weeks during the season because they couldn't play at home. So they've already dealt with the mental aspect of sort of living out of hotel rooms and being bubbled and on the road. So that's going to be a huge edge for them coming to the tournament. I will say, not only do I have them making the Final Four, I have them picking to win the national championship this year.
Speaking of that, that's them spending their time on the road for so long, a sustained period. I've got to know, with these teams being in San Antonio, being in a bubble, they're dealing with, you're only seeing basically your teammates and your coaches for 3 or more weeks for those teams that make it that far. I mean, the mental strain that comes from that, do you think that leads to more upsets? Or does that make this tournament just that much more easy for the experienced teams that are seeded 1, 2, or 3?
That's a great question. It's too early to tell. I thought there'd be a lot of upsets this year, but then the other factor to me, and you've, I'm sure, watched a lot of March Madness, and more on the men's side than the women's side in a sense, because the women play out usually on someone's home court. Fans get behind the underdog. And like an underdog takes the lead, the fans, whoever they're, unless it's their team they're playing against, they root for that underdog team. They love upsets. That's why we love March Madness. That's why it's called March Madness. So you got to think that without fans in attendance, there won't be that energy and the momentum, so to speak. So I'm beginning to think there may not be as many upsets from that standpoint. However, as I said, with not playing on home courts, that's going to help some of the mid-major type teams that do pull off these upsets. So let's call it a wash. I think there will be some upsets early on because teams that are good, that don't have to go to beat somebody on their own home court, which is usually virtually impossible.
I got to know, too, Doug, there are a few that follow the grand scope of women's college basketball closer than you do. So I trust you when you give me your take. And that's your Final Four. And I don't even need 4 teams to lock in because I know it's so tough to do. But which teams do you really love right now that have that shot, the best shot to make it to a Final Four?
So I'll be honest. Every year I pick a bracket and put it out there for public viewing. So I get lovely notes from fans are upset I pick against their team. I'm like, listen, I have to pick someone to win and someone to lose. If I go just with the best team every time winning, that's not a fun bracket. So that said, I picked actually the Final Four I have is UConn, Maryland, South Carolina, and Texas. UConn, Maryland, Stanford, Texas A&M. That's my 4 teams in the Final Four, with Stanford beating UConn in the championship game.
How about it? I love it. And then is there one maybe Cinderella team, before we get to our Bear Games questions of the day, one Cinderella team that you think, hey, this squad's got a shot to make that Sweet 16 Elite 8 run?
So I'll give you a team that I don't know what you consider Cinderella, although in women's basketball, if you're not a 1 or 2, you're probably a Cinderella because those are usually advanced. I think Indiana's a team that could make a deep run this tournament. They have depth. They have senior leadership. They can shoot the ball well, play really good defense. I mean, they were number, I think, 10 or 9 in the country for a couple of weeks. So they're not a Cinderella by the classic terms, but in women's basketball terms, they're not one of the blue bloods, so to speak. So that's a team I think can make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. I think I had them knocking off the 1 seed in that bracket in my picks. If you want a team, though, like a 11 or 12, a team that could make a run somehow, I think that Florida Gulf Coast team could do it. I mean, I think if they have a good coach, they've been to the NCAA tournament before, I think that's a team that could win at least 2 rounds in the NCAAs this weekend.
Well, Doug, before we get you out of here, we got our Bear Games questions of the day. As always, we play on this show where we take a little break from the sports realm and just keep it light. Today's, what is the most that you would pay for a haircut?
It's funny you say that. I actually got a haircut right before I came down here. It was a solid $25. And I have an easy deal for hair. I mean, I don't have that much. I had a lot before. I actually shaved for your show today because I'm a little scraggly in the face area from that standpoint. $25 probably the limit I pay.
$25. And then our other, we're going through our mascot. So we did the March Madness. With March Madness, we did our own bracket on the show. And to cater to our listenership that typically tends to lean young, we've done a Disney movie madness is what we're calling it. But, okay. Doug, look, you strike me as the kind of guy that rather than Disney, I'm going to give you the real ones. And your movie matchup today is The Godfather or Goodfellas. What are you going with out of those two?
I have to go with The Godfather because that is a classic. I mean, you can't top The Godfather as far as great movies go from that genre. So 100% Godfather. Goodfellas was a very good movie as well. But Godfather, if you're picking them, that's like a 1-2 matchup probably in the Elite 8 or the Final Four. I got to go with The Godfather.
Doug, I know you told us you're not in the mob. I know you told us that. But see, sometimes your words and your actions just aren't matching up. There are things there. There are hints there.
Well, I want to know what the Disney matchup was. I'm a Disney fan,
Okay. I'll hit you with it. So
bonus one.
The weird part about this bracket, we didn't make it. I wish we would have because I hate it. I hate it. It breaks it up into decades. So you got a lot of really good 90s Disney movies, early 2000s Disney movies competing against one another. So today's matchup is Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story.
Oh, definitely Toy Story. I mean, that the last one made me actually cry at the end of it. So I was a Toy Story fan. I mean, I'm a little older than the expected audience for those shows, so to speak, because in the 90s I was graduating high school and college. But definitely I'm a Toy Story guy. Well, Monster Inc. is not a bad movie either, but Toy Story by far. Woody and Buzz Lightyear, no question.
Lock in Toy Story, and then this one is Up against Coco.
I can't say I saw Coco.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of Up. That's with the grumpy old guy in the house.
Grumpy old guy and the balloons.
Yeah. And there isn't there like a giant dog in that also?
I don't know. Is the dog giant? It's a regular sized dog. It talks. That's what it was. The dog talks.
Talking dog. Talking dog. Dog, one letter off. Got to vote for the dog movie. So let's go for Up.
I think the dog's name was Doug in the movie too. Was it? It was. Oh, wow. The correlation. We got to vote for Up on this one.
Yeah, how could you go against a Doug, right?
I can't go against a Doug. Especially not Doug Feinberg, who joined the show. Doug, thanks so much for coming on today.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Enjoy the tournament. It should be a fun time for everybody. And I think Baylor's going to have a nice run. No question.
Hope so. We're used to seeing it. Hopefully it sticks to it this year. Doug, thanks again. Always love your analysis.
My pleasure, my friend. Stay safe and stay smart.
Absolutely. Doug Feinberg, AP women's basketball writer, talking Baylor women's basketball, the bracket coming in the NCAA tournament. Tell you what, he's one of my favorites. So much insight and covers it better than almost anybody else in the game, if not anybody else in the game when it comes to women's basketball and knowing about the grand realm of things. Baylor and Jackson State. 3 p.m. on Saturday. Baylor, the 2 seed. Jackson State, the 15 seed. Jackson State, 18-5 this season. First in the SWAC. They're the number 1 team in the SWAC. They lost to Mississippi State by 30. Stephen F. Austin by 30. Lost at Louisiana Tech. Kim Mulkey's alma mater by 7. Lost to Ole Miss by 24. And really the rest of their wins in here, they've swept through conference play. Dominant run through conference play. But their non-conference against team, just one loss in conference play, I should say. Their dominance really did not stem into the non-conference, so they lost to a lot of the Power 5 schools, all the Power 5 schools they played. So Baylor will get their shot at Jackson State on Saturday at 3 p.m. The same Lady Bear team that's now 25-2 overall, a shot to make it all the way to the national championship this season, but they'll have to get through UConn in the Elite Eight in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. All right, here's what we got coming up. J.D. Pickell on the show, Blonde Boys Power Hour, rocking and rolling with our March Madness picks. We're going to take you step by step, game by game, round 1 to the national championship through our brackets, tell you who we picked, why we picked it, what we like about it, and give you exactly what we think is going to go down when March Madness kicks off tonight. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. Blonde Boys Power Hour. Up next, this is Up Tempo.
Long awaited and finally here, today marks the first day of March Madness as the first 4 kicks off tonight. The Madness all starts at 4:10 with the play-in games between Texas Southern and Mount St. Mary's from the East region. That game is followed by Drake and Wichita State at 5:27, App State and Norfolk State at 7:40, and UCLA versus Michigan State at 8:47, with each game taking place on True TV or TBS. In NIT action last night, Richmond knocked off Toledo by double digits, 76-66, and Western Kentucky upset St. Mary's 69-67. And more NIT action takes place tonight between NC State and Davidson and SMU and Boise State. And Georgia Tech's star player and ACC Player of the Year Moses Wright joins the list of athletes who will not compete in the tournament, and neither will Oklahoma star Davion Harmon. On the women's side, Baylor's Nalissa Smith continues to garner awards as she was named first-team AP All-American. In baseball, Baylor extended its winning streak to 10 games last night with a mercy rule victory over Prairie View A&M in the 7th inning, 12-2. And the number 3 Baylor Bear tennis team notched a 5-2 win over number 15 Arizona State in Waco. I'm Armstrong Simpson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
It takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs, too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
Car has the trucks, man. They have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man. He has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on
JD and I are going to go through our brackets pick by pick today, and then we'll open up the phone lines for reaction, immediate reaction, because I know you folks are going to be passionate about what our brackets end up looking like today. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to go to my ESPN March Madness app, and I'm going to pick this bracket and put it on the Up Tempo. So we have a SicEm365 bracket challenge that folks can go to and compete in. So we'll go, again, matchup by matchup, not including tonight's games. Okay. So we're not going to have tonight's games in there. With tomorrow's games starting at like 11:15, we're going to watch those up on the big board. But we're just going to go through these kind of on our own. And so here's what we got. Matchup number 1. Gonzaga and Appalachian State. It's going to be Appalachian State. I'm calling it. I got a house money says App State tonight. All right. No. App State's going to beat North. It's not for sure going to be App State who they play yet.
So you think App State is going to be the team
that they play? That's what I'm saying. I've got house money on App State tonight against Norfolk State. So
I'd probably take App State. I think. Yeah. Doesn't one of those teams have a COVID deal?
I don't even know. I just know App State.
I'll roll with App State. It's upset
State.
you, baby.
I followed App State.
It's upset you.
Yeah, App State, Michigan, Final Four.
If I'm Gonzaga, I'm looking out for App State.
Yep. So I've got App State playing Gonzaga round 1, and you know what? I'm going to go with the experts. Give me the Zags round 1 on top of App State.
Smart pick.
JD?
Listen, I feel like Drake knows what he's talking about, so I don't know a lot about this game, but I'm just going to go ahead and roll with Drake and say Gonzaga.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does he?
I don't know for a fact, but
I feel like I know enough.
I'll roll with
I won
Drake.
a lot of money sports betting that one time in Monopoly money only. Oklahoma or Missouri?
So Oklahoma was out their second leading scorer.
Andrew want to give
COVID
his?
deal. Oh yeah, Andrew. Andrew, I want to hear what you have to say. Tell me why App State wins this game. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Give me your
Yeah,
give me your
no. I mean, I have a lot of great insight for these upsets that I have coming up, but I think I have Gonzaga going pretty far.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Some weird team from the West.
Okay. I'm riding with it.
Oklahoma, Missouri.
Are we writing it
Oklahoma,
down?
Missouri.
Right.
Yeah, might as well, huh?
All right.
So we got the Zags.
Yep.
Ending App State's Cinderella run in that first round.
Is that considered a Cinderella?
That's going to be
Does he win the play-in?
Well, see, they're on Hawaii time,
Armstrong, do you have a pen?
so midnight comes very early.
It's very true.
Here, I got a pen for you.
Yep. Snag.
What if we just started tossing?
Hey, JD, I need a pin. No, I'm kidding.
Oklahoma, Missouri, Oklahoma, without their second leading scorer, COVID deal. Can't do it. Got COVID. He's out. I think that hurts Oklahoma. I think Missouri gets it done with that gaping hole in their scoring production for the Sooners. Get me Mizzou advancing to the next round.
Not so fast, my friend. Oklahoma's been without a star player once this year, and when it happened, they knocked off Alabama, a top 5 team in the country. Oklahoma rises to the occasion. Lon Kruger's been at OU for over a decade, contrary to Quanzo Martin, who's been at Missouri just recently. This is Missouri's first taste of really trying to make waves in the tournament. They've dropped off the table. They're not playing very well as of late. Give me Oklahoma.
Run that back, Turbo. I like it. Creighton, UCSB. Comes down to brands for me here. Creighton in the tournament.
Andrew,
Coach McDermott.
I keep bypassing Andrew.
No,
Andrew,
it's all right.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. These shades are dark.
See, JD gave me such a great description. I prematurely wrote down Mizzou before I heard what Drake said, and so I'm just going to die by the pen. So Mizzou's already on the brackets. That's where I'm rolling with.
I like it. I like it. It's literally in ink. It's literally in pen,
correct.
Not in pencil. Creighton, UCSB. I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about either team, but when it comes to tournament, a lot of the time I'm picking with brands. Creighton, the more recognizable brand. Traditionally the better basketball program here. I'm riding Creighton. Doug McDermott is going to come back and play in this game, actually. He's going to come off the bench. He's not going to start. Going to come off the bench. Dougie Buckets back in the tournament. Magic for Creighton. They advance and beat UCSB.
Not so fast, my friend. UCSB, the metrics would show that UCSB is a really good team. Shot quality, Simon, Evan Mia, those guys, the metrics, they say UCSB is a good team. Maybe not as good as Creighton. However, Creighton in the same way has dropped off towards the end of the year. Creighton is undervalued. They are undervalued, but at the same time, they are not able to get past the hump, the 12-5. Wow. It's a dreaded matchup. UCSB on top of Creighton.
The first one. That's first blood in terms of upsets, yeah?
First blood.
That's the first blood. Ohio, Virginia. Virginia.
Mizzou is an upset. Also,
Mizzou.
Andrew.
Is Mizzou an upset?
Also, if it's Andrew again.
Sorry, Andrew.
Apologize to Andrew. Go
Okay,
give him a hug.
because-
Did you
Go give him a hug. Go give him a hug.
Creighton is a weird program because they have a lot of controversy in that locker room. The coach is on the record saying some pretty poor remarks, but it's a COVID year. So I've been flip-flopping on this game.
Yeah, it's a COVID year, so those remarks don't count.
No. That's different.
It's not worth that bad anymore.
It's a
free game this year. Say whatever you want.
It's a COVID year, so UC Santa Barbara has not had the opportunity to play a lot of out-of-conference games. I think their 22-4 record's a little bit inflated. On a regular year, they'd have more out-of-conference games, and they could have shined a little bit. So I'm back on Creighton after making about 15 brackets with UC Santa Barbara.
Okay.
So we're back on Creighton.
We're back on Creighton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Now we got Virginia, Ohio. Ohio.
I think that's Ohio State.
Has two of the best players in the entire West Quadrant. Ohio knocked off Buffalo, who I thought was a lock to make the NCAA tournament. Ohio's a hot team right now, 16-7. They're playing really well lately. Virginia, what have you done for me lately? Not a lot. They're battling COVID. Give me Ohio. That is a 13 over a 4.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we're picking a lot of these upsets early on. I'm a fan of it. Why I would root for Ohio, I like the little guy to win this game. I see Virginia with the COVID stuff being an issue. Altogether, though, top to bottom, Virginia has the better basketball roster. Talent, I think, wins this game, especially in that first round with Ohio team that obviously playing well, but I think the talent of Virginia gets it done. Give me Virginia to advance and end Ohio's bid Out of Cinderella.
OH.
It's the wrong. It's Ohio State that does that.
Yeah, but it's so
Do they do that at Ohio too?
I bet they do now.
I don't think.
Okay, Virginia.
Got to get them on.
Virginia hasn't been able to practice since their COVID scare. I believe more than 50% of the roster isn't even in the bubble yet, and for that reason, I'm taking Ohio because all of them are healthy.
For that reason, I'm out.
I need to go change my pick on ESPN. All right.
Yeah.
Continue.
USC and Wichita State Drake. Folks love the upset in this one. I think the Wichita State Drake game is going to be intriguing. I think Drake ends up winning that one. I think Drake's got a chip on their shoulder. Also, though, I don't like the way that Drake played in big games this season. Big games being against Loyola Chicago. Drake also lost to Valparaiso earlier in the year. I love. People are picking it, and I don't like it. I think, without a doubt, USC, Evan Mobley gets it done. They move on to the round of 32.
I'm with you. I'm going to flip-flop that with Drake getting into the tournament. Drake was 18-0 at one point.
That's what I said.
Drake is a really good program.
Yeah, Drake beats Wichita State.
I'll tell you Wichita State. Okay.
I got Wichita State.
Forget what I said. Me and Drake are on the same page about Drake. I'm with you. Evan Mobley, 16 points a game, one of the best scorers in the country, will probably be a top 3 pick by most accounts. USC gets it done. Fight on, baby. I got USC making some moves in this tournament. Let's just start right there. I got USC making some moves.
I also have USC making some moves.
Moving and shaking.
They,
Really?
Okay,
I
so.
need to change my pick.
Hey.
Gosh dang it.
It's March. Nobody is right in March.
You can make more than one bracket. That's why I let you make 25.
No. I only make one bracket.
Oh, really?
I respect the heck out of that.
I respect
This is
you.
my bracket. That's it.
There are many like it, but this is my own.
All you, A-Rob.
There are none like it.
Yeah, I got USC, and then I also have USC making some pretty saucy moves into this tournament. I don't want to talk about the next matchup, but
yeah,
he's going to give it away.
We're a game at a time kind of show.
Kansas, Eastern Washington.
Okay, so I went back and forth on this one a lot. Eastern Washington can play. I went back and forth on this one. Kansas with the COVID stuff. I don't know how much emphasis to put on COVID. Obviously, I didn't put a bunch on it in the last game with Virginia advancing. I think Kansas, for the same reason as Virginia, gets it done because of talent. McCormick's going to be there. He's going to play. I think Kansas is too good to be able to fall in the first round. That said, I think this is a little bit of a closer game.
Too hot. Heart darn. Eastern Washington's hot. I like Eastern Washington a lot. Conference champions. Wow. They shoot the ball really well. Kansas has solid guards. They're missing one of their best. Eastern Washington, another 14 over a 3. I'm going to pick that. I'm going to pick a couple of these 14 over 3 matchups. Give me Eastern Washington over Kansas. They play USC in round 2.
Oregon, excuse me. I keep skipping you, Andrew.
That's all right.
All you, baby.
I have really good insight for about 9 of these games, so I can just jump in whenever.
Roll. All you, baby.
This isn't one of those games. I just have Kansas going through. I don't think Eastern Washington has played the level of schedule that Kansas has played. It's really how much stock you put in COVID. I think Kansas is still going to win this game.
I'm with you.
How about this? You've got Oregon and VCU. The folks love VCU, so I'm going to go with the experts. Give me Oregon.
Go Ducks. That Nike money, we see it show up big time in the tournament. Wow. They've got better shoes. They've got better shorts, shirts, socks, underwear, probably even headbands.
Yep.
Nike money makes a difference in this thing. Also, can we put a little more respect on the Pac-12's name?
No.
Put a little more respect on it. Not a lot, just a little bit.
Conference of Champions.
Not a lot. Conference of Champions.
Pac-14.
Good weather. They're indoors all year round in Oregon. 20-6 on the season. You kidding me? Uncle Phil, they're winning this round against VCU. Yep. I don't care about the magic of VCU in the past. Shaka's gone.
Can't sleep on Virginia
Look
Commonwealth
good, feel
University.
good.
Look good, feel good, play good. And if you pay good, I ruined it. If you play good, they pay good.
Iowa Grand Canyon.
Ruined it.
Oh, baby. Iowa Grand Canyon. I think Grand Canyon I love. Everybody here knows that I love Bryce Drew. I love Bryce Drew.
I know that.
But I love Iowa. Iowa beats Grand Canyon University by 15.
By 15?
Yeah. It's sad because I want Grand Canyon to win. I think Iowa's a little bit of a fraud, not to allude to the rest of my bracket. But, yeah, Iowa's going to win, and it sucks.
Not so fast, my friend. One of my upset picks that I really like in this whole bracket, Bryce Drew, arguably the second best coach in this entire field of 64. I like Grand Canyon.
No, stop.
Listen to me.
Stop.
Listen to me. I bet you didn't know this. Second best defense against the field goal in the country. Second to only Houston. So they're gonna bang a little bit with Iowa. They're gonna get in there, mix it up. Luka Garza's not gonna have as easy a time. I like Grand Canyon to win this game. They're gonna give Luka Garza fits. Who else? If you shut down Luka Garza, which Grand Canyon has the personnel to do, they're going to get it done.
They don't.
I really hope you're right.
They don't.
They do.
Michigan,
second in the country against the field goal.
I would love that.
That'd be awesome.
I want you to be right.
I want
to be right too.
So right.
I want to be right on one thing. I mean, this might not be it, but
I want Luka Garza gone.
Yep. Get him out of here.
Cancel.
Michigan and whoever they play the 16 seed, give me Michigan.
Do you know anything about either of these 16 seeds? I have no clue.
I know that I think Texas Southern is the worst 16 seed.
Okay.
I think Mount St. Mary's may probably lose. I think Texas Southern's more athletic than Mount St. Mary's, but also I think Texas Southern is the worst 16 seed in this. I think Appalachian State is the best 16 seed. I think Hartford and Cleveland State. I think Hartford is the second worst, and Cleveland State is the second best of the 4 16s that are going to play. So I think Michigan is just fine with Texas Southern. They're the worst 16 seed.
Isn't Cleveland?
That's good enough for me. Michigan.
I thought Cleveland State was a 15.
Maize and blue. Let's roll.
They are 15. I'm sorry. The other 16 is Drexel. Drexel,
Drexel, baby.
Drexel's fine.
Sure.
LSU St. Bonaventure. I've heard a lot of talk, a lot of chatter about the old Bonnies, and the Bonnies are great against the spread, but they're not great in the NCAA tournament games when they face LSU. That's right, LSU on top.
Defense, they're relatively hot. Gave Bama some trouble. If they can shoot, watch out. Go Tigers. What you got there, Rob?
I got LSU down in the swamp. Come on, Coach O doesn't coach basketball, but I love him.
Yeah,
LSU.
he'll be watching probably.
Yeah,
Patrick
exactly.
Ewing, Georgetown Hoyas. Name the song.
Hoya at me.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Ooh, I am for real.
Yep, he says Georgetown Hoyas in that song.
Oh, really?
Colorado and Georgetown. The folks,
Does he?
the experts, they say Patrick Ewing's team is hot, hot, hot. They're all going with Georgetown, and they are hot. Just won the Big East tournament. I'm locking it in, Colorado.
Yep.
I'm rolling with it. Drake, you've never stood me wrong before, not even once, not even in a fire. Georgetown gets it done. I'm with you. Go Hoyas.
He said Colorado.
Yeah, we're on Colorado.
Yeah,
Georgetown.
Colorado's winning.
I'm rolling with Georgetown.
All right, Florida State, UNC Greensboro. Florida State, I can't trust you in the NCAA tournament. I can't trust you. You're more athletic, but you're so inconsistent. You lost to Notre Dame by 10. Miami took you to overtime. Florida State, you just don't rise to the occasion here. UNC Greensboro has one of the best coaches in the country. Give me UNCG.
Yeah, they do have one of the best coaches in the country. That's true.
Yeah, but they have no talent.
That's not true.
Compared
UNCG
to
plays.
Florida State?
I need to go change that.
Guess
pick.
where Maceo T
I am
came
a
from?
Giant
I know where.
UNC
Okay,
Greensboro
correct.
believer.
Well, that's why do you leave?
But that caliber players are there.
Yeah, but
Not anymore.
Yeah, Scott.
UNC
Drew
Greensboro's
development.
coach,
Come on.
Wes Miller, is North Carolina's coach in waiting, basically.
Oh, really?
BYU and Michigan
Whoa.
State or UCLA?
I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
Okay, you can pick.
Florida State is one of the
Yep,
best
there you
shooting
go.
teams in the country.
It's a good pick.
They get it done.
Great pick.
They've had disappointments in the past. Get it done. Florida State. Let's go, Knowles. Zios, live fresh.
BYU, Michigan State, UCLA. I don't care if it's Michigan State. I don't care if it's UCLA. I don't care who it is. Give me BYU.
Oh, no.
One of the better shooting teams out there. They live and die by their shots sometimes, but I think, again, it's another one of those matchups. People are picking this to be an upset, and I just don't think it's going to happen. BYU's going to win it.
Storm and Mormons. Let's go, Cougs.
Wow.
BYU.
I love it.
Storm and
Are
Mormons.
you on BYU too?
No,
Yeah. Okay. Good. What are you on, Armstrong? So I can feel confident about my pick.
I'm on Michigan State.
I'm also on Michigan State. There you go. All right. You can't take Tom Izzo out of a tournament. He's been here too many times.
It's going to be funny when they lose to UCLA tonight.
Whoa.
Texas and Abilene
That will
Christian.
be funny.
I don't think that'll be funny at all.
People
like Michigan
love
State, so-
Abilene Christian right now.
enjoy
Abilene Christian's a hot team. They shoot the ball well. They play. They are one of the best teams when it comes to metrics and analytics in the entire country, but they just can't do it against Greg Brown, Jericho Sims, a Texas lineup filled with NBA talent. Give me UT round one.
I'm rolling with it. Texas is also hot. I don't care. Even if they won the Big 12 championship in 2 games, you're still hot, still playing against good teams. Talent is going to be the other talent with Abilene Christian. How's that for analysis, huh? Talent versus other
Great
talent.
analysis.
You like that?
Yep.
UT. Let's go.
UConn, Maryland. It's going to be tight. Folks at home love UConn. Folks love UConn right now, and they're good. I think Maryland's all right, too, but they have, what have you done for me lately? Not a lot. I think UConn sneaks past Maryland in this one, but I'm not. This is one of my least confident picks in the entire first round. I hate both of these teams, frankly. And I also feel like both of these teams could make an Elite Eight run. Do you know why? Because that's how March Madness goes sometimes. The random team that you don't like that plays in the Big Ten and finished 9th overall in the conference ends up going to the Elite Eight. And you're like, why are you here? Why are you here? One of those two teams might just do that, but I don't see Maryland making that a round one. I'm going to go with UConn because they're the favorite.
Interesting. I'm going to go with Maryland. I think they've been more battle-tested during the season. I think the ACC as a conference, just body of work is better. They've had to do more. UConn won't be a step up for them in terms of teams they've played. I think Maryland rises to the occasion, gets it done. And, is this an upset? What is an upset? Is it 3 seeds? Is it 3 seed difference? There's got to be some definition for this.
That's an upset.
All right, we're taking Maryland in an upset then.
There you go.
Alabama and Iona. Rick Pitino is back in the tournament with his 5th different team, and he has coached his way. Iona may be the hottest mid-major team in the country right now, but Alabama rolling through the SEC tournament, scoring at will, playing that high-paced basketball. Iona didn't play that well in the regular season either. They're 12-5 overall. I think they went to their conference tournament at 8-5. I think Alabama gets this thing done by 20 points or more.
Oh, I'm with you. Roll Tide. We don't got to talk about it. A lot of talent on Alabama. They're hot. They're going to win. Easy money.
Baylor and Hartford. Okay.
We can all say Baylor.
North Carolina, Wisconsin.
There you go.
I think UNC gets it done. Armstrong made a lot of good points during the season. They're peaking at the right time. They're young. UNC has the better guards. Wisconsin has the better bigs. We'll see which comes to play. But I think the way that UNC is trending right now, I think they get it done. I like UNC in a fairly close one, but not too enjoyable in the last 30 seconds.
Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. North Carolina has slipped up in a couple of games this year where you think, what are you doing? You boys aren't supposed to be slipping up in games like this. And I think it's going to happen again. I'm saying this especially because I don't want to face them in round 2. Yeah. Don't let North Carolina get hot. Don't let them get hot. Give me Wisconsin in round 1 on top of North Carolina.
What do you got there, Rob?
I got UNC. I got UNC. I think they are a better team. I think Wisconsin's been more battle tested, so I can't argue with that. But according to some analysis that I've watched, because this is the game that I've been watching most intensely. I've switched on this a couple times. I think UNC is just better. They have better coaching. They're going to shine in the tournament.
Armstrong, I want to hear your analysis for this, being a resident UNC expert.
Well, I just got UNC. That's
the analysis?
That's the analysis.
Thank you.
UNC or I'm out?
I'm UNC because I really, really, really want to see Baylor versus UNC.
What about James Madison?
Just make my heart happy.
If James Madison was in this tournament and it's James Madison versus North Carolina in the championship, who do you take?
Oh, man. Don't test me like that. You can't do that to me.
UNC versus a different Duke.
I love this show.
Move on.
All right.
Colin Gillespie. No mas, Colin Gillespie. And that is the reason that Winthrop gets it done in an upset on top of Villanova. Jay Wright's a great coach, and great coaching gets you a long way in March. But there are just those mid-major teams that are hot, that play well. Winthrop's good against the spread. They shoot the lights out of the basketball. Give me Winthrop in a win over Villanova.
We kicked this around earlier in the show, or earlier in the week, I should say, on the show. I like Villanova because I think coaching with the ability to regroup right now, it's probably too late to make a run for them to have this injury, but I think they're going to rally around having lost Gillespie, their leader. I think Jay Wright with the coaching does get you past the first round. And also, top to bottom roster-wise, we're talking about that a lot in March Madness. I don't know how much it matters. I think it matters some in this game. Talent. Villanova is a better, more talented team than Winthrop. I think they advance to the next round.
North Texas, Purdue. I love the 13-4 matchups this season, and I love the 13 seeds to have success against the 4 seeds in this tournament. Matt Painter, I'll never forget when he lost to Chris Beard and University of Arkansas Little Rock now 5 years ago in an overtime game that was unbelievable, and it's going to happen again. This is not the Purdue team of old. There's no Isaac Haas on this team to dominate North Texas. North Texas is playing really well right now. They're excited coming off of a conference tournament victory, and they know they can beat Purdue. They've got confidence in it. I think the Scott Drew coaching tree extends to a North Texas win over Purdue.
Whoa.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it one bit. I think Purdue gets it done talent-wise. I think you're right, though. I think one of these two will happen. I think either Winthrop or North Texas gets it done. I wouldn't be shocked if one of them happened. Have a hard time picking them, so I'm going to go Purdue, but I like your analysis, and I think it's a very astute observation, as you would say.
Texas Tech, Utah State. Folks have been talking about this game as being a tight matchup. I like the pace of play. I think it's going to be a very interesting game to watch. I don't think it goes over 135 combined, but I think Texas Tech's defense, they're going to hone in on defense, and that's what helps teams in March. I think Texas Tech could make a run in this tournament.
My biggest thing is Mac McClung, right? They live and die by Mac McClung's performance. And if Utah State, you take away Mac McClung, you take away a lot of what Texas Tech does offensively. I think Utah State has watched enough film. They have a lot of time to prepare for Mac McClung as well, so I think that hurts Texas Tech. I think Utah State gets it done and shut down Mac McClung, make them one-dimensional. Utah State pulls off the upset in the first round. They're dancing, folks.
Arkansas,
Aggies.
Colgate.
Wait, do you have a take on that?
I think Texas Tech is the best defense Utah State's faced all season. I think Texas Tech is also going to make a run. But I do have great news for this Arkansas-Colgate game for Drake, the resident Arkansas fan. Colgate has played 5 teams. 5 total teams. They've played them a couple times, but they've played 5 teams. And it's all in the Patriot League. I think this 14-3 matchup, I think I'd probably bet my firstborn child on Arkansas. And this could be a cold take exposed like next week at this time, but I really think that Arkansas is going to dominate Colgate.
But if it is a cold take, you blow up your viral and you get a blue check.
Oh, that would be nice.
That'd be awesome.
Live and die by the blue check.
Give me Arkansas.
Yeah. Come on. It's Colgate. They've played 5 teams.
I'm taking the glasses off for this so everyone can see how deadly serious I am in my eyes right now. In March,
if you take Colgate,
shooting gets you a lot. Guess what Colgate does really well?
They played 5 defenses.
The 3rd best shooting team from beyond the arc in the country. Guess who's first? Baylor. Colgate gets it done in stunning fashion. I lost a lot of sleep over this. I like Colgate to beat Arkansas. Shades are going back on now, but Colgate advances.
Florida, Virginia Tech. Give me Virginia Tech. No.
Did you see their stupid video?
I know, but I hate Florida. Florida's such a fake.
Yeah.
Oh, give me Florida. Gosh,
Virginia
dang it, because the
Tech
stupid
cannot
video.
win after that video.
Video did him in.
Virginia Tech posted one of the worst videos. Just like, thanks for doubting us. You're a 10 seed.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm out on that.
You know why Baylor's not a blue blood?
I'm out.
Because Florida's not a blue blood.
Interesting.
What?
Interesting.
If Florida's not a blue blood, are they?
They went back-to-back, didn't they?
Yep.
They were really good.
Joakim Noah?
They were really good for a minute.
For a minute.
For a flash in the pan. They
For
probably
a
what?
minute.
I mean, probably
Well,
what?
Baylor's
Probably
definitely
the team
not a
of the
blue blood.
10s.
You don't catch me arguing
They're
that Baylor's
not
a blue blood.
They're not a blue.
You will never catch me doing that.
Well, not
Not
yet.
not even late at night.
Wait until we win a couple
maybe
chips.
20 years.
Ohio
Late
State,
at night in
Oral
20
Roberts.
years.
I think Ohio State, Oral Roberts is going to be an interesting matchup.
at night,
I like Oral Roberts because you got the the Mills. But, yeah, give me Ohio State.
OH!
Io!
Buckeyes.
Illinois and Drexel. Must we even?
No.
We mustn't. We mustn't. Do you have a take on any of this, Andrew?
No.
On the Drexel game?
I mean, Illinois is going to... I have Illinois
I'm
going
that
so
more so
far.
Ohio State.
Give me Loyola, Chicago, Georgia Tech. I have lost.
Illinois.
This is the one I've lost sleep over.
Okay.
Isn't Georgia Tech missing a player? Is that right? Did I read that correctly?
Their best player.
Sister Jean.
They can't find him anywhere.
Sister
Did they do it with the
Jean.
Dreads?
No, he's gone. We don't know where he went.
101.
Sister Jean's in the bubble. Sister Jean is in the bubble. How do they lose?
Is she actually in the bubble?
She's in the bubble.
She's in the bubble.
How do they... Come on.
Oh, gosh.
That you're going to bet against God?
Give me the... Well, when you say it like that.
Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Bo Nix. When people bet against me, they bet against God. That's basically... Did you see Bo Nix's tweet?
I saw that. That was
bad.
Well, yeah. I get what he's saying, but that was a bad take. Give me the jackets. They're hot. Give me the jackets.
That was like, remember
Is
when
that not-
Sean Spicer was like, yeah, but Donald Trump isn't Hitler. You remember that?
Great.
Do you remember that? In like 2016, everybody was like, oh, you can't do that.
I don't remember
Very similar. Tennessee, Oregon State.
Ooh. Tennessee is so inconsistent. I think they rise to the occasion in the first round. It's March. I mean, I think when the pressure's on, Tennessee can play well. They have the firepower too. I think they get it done. Oregon State's hot, but I think
They're
Tennessee
so
wins.
Give me Tennessee. Give me Tennessee.
Whoa. All right.
Oklahoma State and Liberty.
Give me Cade Cunningham.
Give me Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
The amount of orange teams in this.
Yeah, you got Oregon State, Tennessee.
We're cranking. We're cranking right now,
and
boys.
Oklahoma State. Wow.
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Oh, wow.
Taking Jim Boeheim to run right over
my
San Diego
gosh.
State.
Give me Buddy Boeheim on the gas in the passenger seat.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No, for this show's success, we have to go for Syracuse.
Yeah, Buddy Boeheim's such a backseat driver.
Such
You know, he's
a
a
dude.
front seat driver, a driver's seat driver, and a damn good one at that. Jim Boeheim.
Not that good.
Not that good.
I don't know. Some would say it was intentional. West Virginia and Morehead State.
The court would disagree.
West Virginia.
Yeah, give me Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear, West Virginia.
Huggy
I like
Bear.
It. I think Morehead State's on my upset list, though. I wouldn't be surprised.
You see our TikTok? Cool TikTok. Very cool TikTok they did. The whole team on the tarmac, I think it was. Pretty
Morehead?
cool. Probably not good enough to win this game, though.
No.
Clemson and Rutgers. This is one of the tighter matchups we see.
Let's go Rutgers.
Rutgers in the better conference.
Give me Clemson. Took them in a Calcutta auction, so we're going to go with Clemson.
Okay.
Yeah.
That game's a first of 55.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't show your kids that one for they'll pick up bad
Houston,
offensive
Cleveland State?
tendencies. Do y'all want to go? Because I got Cleveland State in this one.
No
I got
chance.
Houston.
Cleveland
You do
State
not.
in this one. I
Come
got
on.
Cleveland State.
I want that.
Is that
to
two
happen.
15 over 2
That's
upsets
two.
for you?
That's two. And it happens every 5 years. Happens every 5 years. Cleveland State is getting it done. Last time it happened, I believe it was Michigan State and was it Tennessee State? Tennessee Tech, someone like that. It happened about 5 years ago.
Or 2 of them.
Cleveland State also has made some noise in the tournament before, so this is not something that they are foreign to as a school. Cleveland State gets it done. Houston, incredibly streaky. I'm holding a grudge from the last time where they just absolutely botched it when I bet on them. Give me Cleveland State.
All right. I've seen other experts have Houston in their Final Four. So
No.
This is a take.
Houston's a fraud.
Dude, this is a take and a half.
You're telling me Houston's going to get by Oklahoma State or Illinois? There's no way.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Okay.
All right.
But I would love to see Texas, Baylor, Houston, all 3 in the Final Four. I mean, Texas basketball for the
I'll give you one better. Texas, Baylor, Michigan, Cleveland State in the Final Four.
I want to see UNC Greensboro in there.
If Cleveland State gets to the Final Four, I'm rooting for them. No matter who they're playing.
Oh, yeah.
All right, round 2.
All right, we're in it.
Gonzaga and Oklahoma.
You're going back. We're going through that again now?
Dude, we're running the gamut here, baby.
We're going
We're running the gamut.
You know, we're just picking the
whole
first round.
bracket? I thought you were just picking the first
whole
round.
Steak, the steak and potato. No,
Oh my gosh.
the people want to know.
They give you the whole seat, man. You only need the edge. Who you got?
Gonzaga.
Oh my gosh.
I also have Gonzaga.
Riveting. I
Yeah.
also have Gonzaga.
Oklahoma's missing their best player. Sorry. UCSB in Ohio. OH. Ohio on to face Gonzaga
Yes,
in the Sweet 16.
I have Ohio beating Creighton. But doesn't matter.
I have Creighton in Virginia. I have Creighton beating Virginia
See,
due
doesn't
to
it?
COVID.
But doesn't it make
This
sense?
is where it gets weird. We got Creighton in Virginia. I got Creighton winning.
But see, doesn't it make sense that like there's going to be one 13, 14 seed that gets to the Sweet 16? There's going to be one of them. There's always one.
Or a 15.
And it would make or 15.
Or 15.
It would make sense for Gonzaga to just crush that flame and like
Michael from
sinister.
Dallas says, never stop with the Jim Boeheim jokes, fellas.
We never will.
Oh, no, we won't.
Until he's proven guilty.
Never stop.
Oh, man.
You'd have to hit me. You'd have to run over me with a car for me to stop making Jim Boeheim jokes.
Oh, man.
And then get away with it.
USC and Eastern Washington is in mine, and I like USC. Evan Mobley's good.
We're on the same page. USC and Kansas in mind, but I think USC gets it done over Kansas. COVID is too much of a thorn in their side. USC with Mobley. I'm with you, Drizzy.
Iowa and Oregon is in my bracket, and I like Iowa.
Yeah. I like Iowa too.
Give me Michigan LSU.
Whoa.
Oh, who do you got?
You got Grand Canyon beating Oregon. How about that? How about that, baby? How about that for a run? Put on your shoes and go for a run. Grand Canyon.
What the
You are.
Oh, what? Does that sound?
You're out of your mind.
Does that sound kind of?
Fire your bracket into the sun.
Does that sound kind of like some madness to you, maybe? Oh,
It
wait,
is
I
March.
forgot. Oh, wait, is it March Madness or is it like March normalcy?
Can we?
I forgot. Sorry, my bad. I thought we were playing.
March right now, or is it June? I
Is it
can't remember.
Is it November normalcy? Give me Grand Canyon, man.
November
Defense.
All right, we need to post these brackets up on the wall over here. That way, each day that we come in during the tournament, we can ridicule each other on these picks. Because if Grand Canyon loses first
I need
round,
to ridicule JD.
yeah, I mean, if Grand Canyon,
Or if they start winning,
yeah, then you can
That's-
ridicule
then we're not
us.
going to talk about it,
Yeah.
huh? Then everyone's going to be like, oh, man, Grand Canyon's playing so well. Who'd have thought?
JD thought.
JD would have thought.
Michigan LSU. I love the way that LSU is playing right now. If the FBI get them, if the FBI gets after LSU, this could be different. But I think this right here, LSU over Michigan. Michigan's hurt.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. I think LSU struggles too much offensively. I like LSU if they can find a way to get some buckets, but I think Michigan has too much firepower. Even though a lot of people don't like them, I think Michigan's able to advance.
How about this? They just released prop bets. Says total points scored in all of the NCAA March Madness games on March 18th.
Stop.
Over under 544.5. I would have to do some
Wait,
serious.
yeah, what?
544 point. All right, hold on.
I feel like it's an over.
I'll quant this for us.
We got to take the over, right?
But it's just on March 18th.
This has
So it's
okay.
today.
How about these odds? Alabama, Arkansas, or Oklahoma State win it all plus 1,200.
Wait, Alabama, Arkansas,
Oklahoma State or North
1,200?
Carolina to the tournament championship plus 2,000.
What teams is that? You said North Carolina and who?
Or Oklahoma State.
Oh,
That's a bad one.
Prove me wrong. BYU to reach the Elite Eight
What was
plus
the-
750.
I'll prove you wrong. I don't think BYU's getting on the first round.
yeah.
Total buzzer
behind
beaters
that.
in the 2021 NCAA tournament. Over 1.5, under 1.5.
Total buzzer beaters the whole tournament?
Yeah, that's way over.
Wait,
It's got to be over.
Hammering the over.
Is that in the,
you have to
whole?
define.
Yeah.
Buzzer beater. That means the buzzer goes off when the ball's in the air.
Yeah. You need
shot clock.
So it's not like it goes in and there's 1.2 seconds
How about this?
left.
You need 2
That's not a
buzzers.
buzzer beater.
Shot clock, end of game. What are we talking?
Total buzzer beaters in the round of 64. Over under 0.5.
There's gonna be one.
There's gotta be one.
I wonder how they're defining buzzer beaters. My big thing.
I think end of game, buzzer's going off.
And then I'm saying
Michigan, Iowa, or Purdue
Then
to
it's
win
not
it all.
gonna happen at all.
Plus 600.
To win the game.
I'm out.
Gonzaga or Baylor to win it all. It's plus 140. That's all it is. They're that confident in Gonzaga or Baylor.
I don't understand.
I don't hate that.
What was the over for today? Just because I have my calculator.
544.
Okay, hold on a second.
Also, where are we in the bracket?
Who knows? We picked LSU over Michigan.
Colorado, UNC, Greensboro.
Ooh, okay. This is where it's going to get tough to track because I have different teams in both those. I'm going to take Florida State over Georgetown.
Each team today would have to score over 68 points for that over to hit. And since I don't know anything about any of these teams, it's going to be interesting. But I would take the over. Also, I have Colorado.
Okay. They're athletic.
They have the altitude difference, you know?
BYU or Texas is in mine.
Who you got there?
I got UT.
Yeah, UT. I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. Horns down, but except for that day.
UConn or Alabama?
Bama.
Dude, I got Bama. I got Bama over Maryland. I think Bama's going to roll. I think Bama's going to make a run at this thing.
Baylor or Wisconsin?
Let's go, Bears.
If the Bears lose this one, it's going to be such a deflating loss. I have the Bears going very far, but I think honestly, like if we can't, I think the second game is going to be harder than the third game, which scares me.
I'm with you. I think if Baylor were to lose a game, it might be right here. I think I have it against USC, which I think Drake alluded to earlier. There's probably the scarier matchup. I like Baylor to get it done. What'd you say?
You said USC.
Oh, UNC.
Winthrop, North Texas is in mine.
Ooh, see, we have different brackets.
I got Nova and Purdue. I think Purdue gets it done. Gillespie hurts him long term. Gets him out of the first round.
I got Winthrop over
Purdue
North
gets
Texas.
it done.
Yep, I just got Purdue over Winthrop.
Okay. Texas Tech, Arkansas.
Who you got?
TTU.
Yep.
Defense.
Texas Tech.
We got Colgate and Utah State. Guess what, baby?
Here they come.
Cinderella is still dancing.
We're riding the toothpaste.
It hasn't
We're
hit
riding the
midnight yet.
toothpaste.
Colgate, baby, let's go. Everybody gets a tube. You get a tube. You get a tube. You get a
Bro,
tube.
if Colgate wins,
remove stains up to 2 years.
Strawberry.
JD's
Remove stains up to 2 years.
Toothpaste.
Colgate gets it done.
Get that
It's
enamel.
got fluoride.
Whoa.
Does it?
If Colgate wins, we should give out Colgate toothpaste
Colgate
as gifts.
in the heart of upstate New York gets it done,
If
baby.
Colgate wins the first round, I will buy JD 10 tubes of Colgate toothpaste.
That's like
that is
$50.
Go to the
That's
Sweet
that's
16.
That's
Is
phenomenal.
that what you're saying, Sweet 16?
Yeah, Sweet
Well, I got
16.
him in the Sweet 16, baby. Let's keep dancing, Colgate.
Oh my
If
The
they,
Raiders.
if they
Raider.
don't make it, I want a firm handshake.
You got it.
Colgater.
That's done.
Florida, Oklahoma, or Florida, Ohio State.
OH.
Ohio
Good old
State.
football game, huh? I got Ohio State as well.
Yeah, I don't like that Ohio State and Alabama are like good at basketball. I don't like that.
Yeah,
Illinois,
pretty
Loyola,
whack.
Chicago. Chicago.
Who's going to be the first to bet against God?
Evidently me, because I had Georgia Tech in the first round. So we're going to keep it rolling with Illinois.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely Illinois.
I think Illinois. Loyola, Chicago can't score well enough.
I love it, guys. Who's going to be the first one to bet against? I can't even say that. I feel like that's
Yeah.
I just feel bad.
Well, Sister Jean's in the bubble.
Tennessee and Oklahoma State, I think pretty easily. Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State get this thing done.
I legitimately have Cade Cunningham written next to Tennessee and Illinois. Excuse me, Tennessee and Oklahoma State. Cade Cunningham gets it done. All these orange teams are confusing. Cade Cunningham.
Oh my
drive.
gosh, yeah.
Syracuse, West Virginia, too easy. West Virginia.
Whoa. They have a killer coach.
I agree. I agree with West Virginia pick.
You guys, you're going with West Virginia?
Yeah.
You know what? You better watch out when you're walking down the street this afternoon. You're going on your afternoon jog. You never know who's out there. You never know.
Watch out. You better not cry. Give me West Virginia.
Yeah. We're all four of us gonna be walking down the street one day.
Country roads.
Holding hands. Abbey Road. We're gonna be like posing for the Abbey Road picture and
then
gone.
Here comes
done. And you know what? He'll get away with it too.
He will.
Country roads.
He'll coach like the next week.
The next week, yeah. Like, I'm gonna take a game off and rest.
There's a reason they call West Virginia almost heaven. Almost heaven.
Clemson or Houston? It's too
West
easy.
Virginia. Clemson and Cleveland State. Clemson gets it done.
Rutgers.
Clemson beats Cleveland State, ends their Cinderella run.
You have Clemson over Rutgers in the first round?
I do. Dabo gets it done, baby.
Zags or Ohio?
I have Zags and Creighton. I got Zags.
Okay. I have USC or
excuse
Iowa.
me, I have Creighton. I lied to you. I have Creighton.
I have USC or Iowa.
And we're going through this whole.
What you got?
I got USC and Iowa in my Sweet 16.
It's hard to not pick like the 1 and 2 in every.
It's Iowa.
Yeah, but I don't, because now we're just. I mean, the start of our
We've gotten
bracket
all the way back down to
Listen.
Iowa. And
The start of our
Gonzaga.
bracket was
Listen,
so.
look at me.
Okay.
I love this Grand Canyon team.
You're going
so
again.
much.
Come on.
This Grand Canyon team, second best against the field goal. But Evan Mobley's too good. USC ends the Cinderella run for Grand Canyon. Drake can be revived.
Okay.
We're all good.
I like that,
We're all
man.
good.
I
Grand
like
Canyon,
that.
though, feel good story of the
So
tournament.
hands.
Grand Canyon, Bryce Drew.
They're building something.
They're building something in a canyon. And it's grand.
Okay. I have LSU in Colorado.
I also have LSU in Colorado.
And I love Go Tigers. LSU.
Yeah, I do too. They're coming off that. I mean, they were in that Alabama game. They have a ton of momentum, even though they lost. I think it's even a bigger chip on their shoulder that they lost. I wouldn't even like them if they won. So I have LSU beating the Buffs, and they're moving into the Elite Eight.
I have UT and Bama.
Wait, hang on. I have Michigan, Florida State. I got Michigan.
Those are the exact opposite.
I got Michigan, Florida State.
You know their best players hurt.
I want to see that UT Bama.
All right.
I do too. That's one of the better. That's one of the more promising games.
It's a football. That's the 2009 National Championship.
Yep, you know
UT
who won?
Bama.
Correct.
Not Colt McCoy.
Bama did, yeah.
Colt McCoy lost.
Colt McCoy was actually out after like the third play.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy just was a fan like me.
Did he win?
No.
Nope. Okay, you got Baylor and Winthrop.
Wait, who we choose for the last one?
Oh, I had UT over Bama.
Who you got? A-Rob?
I also have UT over Bama, which
UT
kind of
Bama?
sucks.
Dude, I'm taking Bama.
You taking Bama?
I'm taking Bama.
You're taking Bama, LSU.
I got Bama
it.
making some noise.
I respect
I got Bama, Michigan in the Elite Eight.
We're going different
And you got
directions
Bama
here.
going to the Final Four. I'm just going to put that out there.
Texas Tech, Ohio State.
I'm just guessing.
I'm a Big 12 homer. Gosh dang it, I'm a Big 12 homer. I got
it's
Texas
hard to
Tech.
not be.
The Big 12's
hard to
good.
not be.
But the Big, you know what the Big 12 does? They choke in March.
Where are we at? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard to track where
We
we're
are at Elite 8 South.
Yeah,
Baylor.
I
We
picked
got
Baylor.
Baylor. Okay,
right?
I got Baylor, Purdue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also
Bears.
have Baylor, Purdue, Bears.
Bears.
And
I got Texas Tech, Ohio State. I'm going to go Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Man, I would really like to see. I would be happy for Baylor to face Texas Tech in the Elite Eight.
See, that would be maybe the most stressful game for my heart because
Really?
we play them so tight every game. They match our defensive scheme so well.
Colgate, Ohio State. How about that, huh? How do you like me now? You like apples? How do you like them apples?
I got a
You
number.
get toothpaste.
Ohio State gets it. You get it, Andrew. Ohio State gets it done. Colgate's a great story, great shooting team. Ohio State gets it done.
Colgate's a great
All right,
story.
here.
Yeah, that was a great story. Dude, they made the Sweet 16. They're a
no,
great story.
I went on that ride too with you.
You remember that?
Over the past 4
Golly.
No matter what. Okay, so
It has been a ride over the past
You
4
were all
minutes with
there.
Colgate.
You were there.
all right, so Colgate wins their first game. That's 5 tubes. Every game from there that they win, I'll square it and then I'll cube it and then I will put it to the fourth or whatever that's called. So if they win the finals, if they win the
put it to the
finals,
fourth.
JD. Hold on a second.
I don't even brush my teeth.
Well, you're about to because you're
That's
about to
the
have a
thing.
lot. Okay, so 5.
You don't brush your teeth?
How many
How
rounds?
long does it take you to brush your teeth in the morning?
Smile. Those are some pearly whites,
I'm
too.
just joking.
Oh, he was yanking our chain.
If Colgate wins the national championship, I will owe JD 3,125 tubes of toothpaste, and you will receive it, sir.
Golly. Wow. No, I'm the world's biggest Colgate fan.
Yeah, you have. I mean,
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'm locked in.
Colgate's going bankrupt.
Bro,
and Andrew's going to single-handedly
Year
save
supply.
the company.
I mean, that's like a lifetime supply of toothpaste.
I'm never going to have to.
Illinois
buy
or
toothpaste again.
OHIO. I have Illinois or Ohio State.
I think Oklahoma State. yeah.
wait, Oklahoma State?
Oh, it is Oklahoma State. Yeah, and guys.
Yep.
I love Cade Cunningham.
We're Big 12 homers.
No.
Really?
Yeah,
You're rolling with them?
I have Illinois.
No, yeah, I have Illinois.
Illinois is hot.
Illinois for sure.
I have Oklahoma State.
Hey, yo.
West Virginia
Ayo.
and Houston.
Wait, we all have to still pick this game.
All right, what's your pick?
Ayo. Illinois gets it done.
Io DeSumo.
Ayo, baby.
Io DeSumo.
What a cool name. I got Illinois.
That is a cool name.
Ziops.
Do you still have Cleveland State in at this point?
No, Cleveland State. Cleveland State lost. They lost to Clemson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, tough one. But great story
That was a
too.
ride, too.
That was emotionally taxing on everybody here.
Yeah, I think
but,
it was.
You know, good for Cleveland State.
All right.
I think Houston gets it done against West Virginia.
Really?
I hate taking Huggy Bear out of this thing, but I like Houston.
Man.
No, I don't.
I think Houston steamrolls Jim Boeheim in Syracuse. And
Runs right over him.
Yeah, Houston's going to get to the next round. But see, look what we've done. We have 1 and 2. We have 1 and 2. We have 1 and 2, and then the East is just whatever.
Say we lightly. I have 1 and 2, 8 and 3.
Yeah, so do I.
1 and 6.
Oh, you're right.
4 and 2.
Oh.
So.
Okay, yeah. You know what?
That's
on me.
interesting.
Shame on me. Yep.
That's interesting.
For that reason, I'm taking West Virginia.
Okay.
Give me the Mountaineers, baby.
For that reason, I'm out.
West Virginia over Clemson. How about that?
That's Jim Boeheim in round 2, and for that reason, I'm out.
Old Orange Bowl game. West Virginia beat the brakes off Clemson. Give me West Virginia.
Okay, I got the Zags in Iowa.
I also have the Zags.
Zags.
I got Creighton and USC. How about it, huh? Evan Mobley, he's been playing great all tournament. Evan Mobley's been playing great all tournament. He continues to play well, and they advance. USC, fight on, baby. Something special going on in Hollywood.
Would you
in
believe
South Central
that JD
LA.
is from
Let's
Southern
go.
California?
In the Final Four.
In the Final Four, give me USC.
Oh, my God.
Wait, does that kind of sound mad to you? Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it March?
I
I'm
keep
picking
forgetting.
upsets.
I keep forgetting about that.
If you want to win, you got to be different. And if anything but, JD is different. He is taking a different path.
JD might beat us all.
Yeah,
I got Appalachian State round 1.
I would love that. I would love that. I would ride that with you.
That's not madness. That's stupid.
And you know what happens at the end of this is that we get to enjoy
Uncommon.
4 weeks of beautiful basketball. We're all going to end up being wrong.
Oh, it's going to be euphoric.
It's going to be so
good. It's going to be a tough first day.
Uncommon. It's going to be Buncommon.
It'll be a tough first day.
Bro, watch you.
LSU and UT?
Round 1.
LSU and UT.
Yeah, it would happen.
Go Tigers.
I love Texas. I think NBA talent, Greg
You have
Brown,
LSU
Jericho
in the
Sims.
Final Four.
I have LSU and Iowa in my Final Four.
They don't.
What is
Actually,
happening?
no, I'm taking the Zags.
I'm so sorry. What is happening?
I feel like LSU's pretty good. If they get to this point, they're going to be hot.
You got LSU in the Final Four?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I
That's
just
my
wanted to
God.
have-
Based on
I wanted to have a fun bracket pick 'em, and you guys crapped all over it.
This is fun.
By
So,
what?
yeah,
By
this is
what
fun.
regard? Because we didn't pick 1 and 2 seeds.
Wait, he's picked LSU to the Elite Eight, and he says, "Well, they're kind of hot now." So let's go. You picked them there. What do you mean they're
UT's not hot.
What do you mean they're hot?
they
You
got
just
it.
picked them.
So cold.
They've
Look
done nothing.
Look what LSU has done. They
You
beat
just wrote their
Michigan.
name
They
3
beat
times.
Colorado. They're hot.
And the other team, he's written the same number of times.
that's
Yeah,
right.
one team's more hot right
I
now.
wrote his name 3 times, so they're hot.
They might be the
gotta go in.
best. They might be the best story of the whole tournament. Them and
At this point,
Colgate.
UT's just cold compared to in the Elite Eight compared to the other Elite
and
Eight.
your
They've
national
done the
champion.
same.
All right. Well, I got Michigan, Bama in mind.
Okay.
They don't call Tuscaloosa title town for
respect
nothing.
it. Now
They don't
JD's
call
the sane
Tuscaloosa
one.
title for nothing. Bama, roll tide.
See, JD's now the sane one.
Well, wait till we get to the South.
In the East.
Let's ride out.
JD's East bracket, for some reason, is the most normal.
Yeah, wait until we get to the South.
Which makes no
Madness.
sense.
Wait till we see
Madness.
Colgate.
Yes, sir.
He's got
Yes,
USC in one of them.
Yeah, heck yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
USC go to the Final
Wait,
Four.
did
But
a
the
6
East-
seed make the Final Four?
The East is the chaos
Kinda
region,
recently.
and you have 1 versus 2.
Love it.
Love it.
I love it.
All right, South.
Is this March?
I got in the South. I got Baylor over Texas Tech.
I have Baylor over Ohio.
Baylor over OHIO. I'm with you. Let's go, Bears. Come on, Scotty Drew, huh?
Now me and JD
shooting.
is sounding kinda-
Number 1 shooting team in the country beyond the arc. The Bears. Maceo Teague and company.
The Bears.
40%. 40% beyond the arc. How about that? 4 out of every 10. I'm not a math guy, but 4 out of every 10 goes in.
Hard. It's difficult picking Baylor.
It is so
Because
difficult.
you
picking
don't
Baylor.
want to be a homer.
It is.
I got Baylor going to the Final Four.
Yeah.
So it's Gonzaga, UT, Baylor, and then I got Oklahoma State and Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And while I love Houston, I love them enough to take them all the way. Give me Houston Final Four.
Wow. Okay.
No chance. Yeah, see, I think Houston is the most fraudulent 2 seed in the
I
tournament.
think they get hot. Look, the metrics show Houston's one of the top 4 teams in the country.
Who are they playing?
Which metrics?
Evan Mia.
What's their strength of
Shot
schedule?
quality.
And shot quality.
Shot quality. I really trust shot quality, so that makes me nervous. But Illinois, West Virginia.
Sam.
In the Elite Eight. Elite Eight.
It's a good game.
Illinois. Yeah, I mean, both teams have played so well this far in the tournament. Gosh, I mean, you remember when we started this whole thing. I mean, we were all there just picking brackets, and now look at us in the Elite Eight. Give me Illinois, though. I like Huggy Bear. I don't think they have enough offensively. I think Ayo gets it done.
Ayo.
Can we all agree to do this exact same thing for the round of 32?
No.
No.
What do you mean?
Be able to.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We can do it for Sweet
Oh,
We need to put
we
together like a
repick it?
pregame show.
We
Or
repick it?
no, you're right. Yeah, round of 16, we should all repick.
round of
and See
32.
where we're at.
It'd be fun.
Colgate Grand Canyon.
Like an
National
hour pregame
Championship.
show, hour postgame show for round of 32. Sunday? Is that Sunday?
Ooh, I'm at a wedding.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do that.
Congratulations.
Literally, you're going to be watching
Not
the game,
mine.
right?
I mean, I will watch the game. Yeah.
Just watch it here. Oh.
I mean, with 3 hours of buffer on either side.
An hour buffer on either side.
We'll talk about it off air.
This is how.
No, I want to talk about it right
Yeah, let's talk about it right now.
Yeah, folks at home deserve to know.
So it's a no from me.
All right.
I can't. Otherwise, I would.
Yeah,
You know what?
can't.
JD's getting
I'll
married
get Cole
this
up in
weekend.
here to produce. Cole and I had a connection last night.
Bro, yeah.
No homo.
He's got to.
By all means.
He's got to learn how. He's got to learn sometime. He's not going to be here. You're not going to be here Tuesday.
I will not.
Next Tuesday, is that right?
Oh yeah.
Armstrong, why are you
Anyways.
picking a bracket?
I just like hearing y'all's and just throwing
Okay.
my 2 cents
Fair.
in.
Gonzaga and UT. The Zags are just too much.
In one of the greatest Final Four games we've ever seen. Double overtime. Evan Mobley plays phenomenal. But they call it Titletown for a reason, folks.
Oh my gosh.
Bama, the number 2 seed, dances all the way to the final game of the whole tournament. Bama
It's not a bad
beats
pick.
USC. And they're 2 seed.
I like Bama.
I mean, 1 and 2 seeds typically
Yeah.
make the Final Four. You'll
Yeah.
get a lower
It's not-
seed sometimes.
Not a bad pick.
We saw Bama struggle with UT in the Sweet 16, though.
Yeah,
And
that game probably took their legs out. It was a long game.
But that was over a week ago.
Was it 29 fouls though in that game?
That was a week ago though.
Physical game.
season high in turnovers too.
Yeah.
All right, I have the Zags. I mean, it sucks because I don't want to have the Zags, but I think they are. They are.
Gonzaga to meet in the national championship, and we are Baylor radio show host, analyst. I go to school at the school that is picked to go to the national championship, and the school that I'm going to pick to lose the national championship.
Oh,
wow.
Gonzaga,
on.
the Zags, on top of Baylor in a tight, tough game. They are just that good. And by the time they get to Baylor, they will have been battle-tested through the tournament. So that conference play that was just booty will be gone and past them. They'll be hot. I've got Gonzaga in the national championship game.
How much stock do you put into every single analyst on the planet? It's like, oh, Baylor's not the same team that they were before COVID. How accurate do you think that is? Because I think if Baylor can get...
the stats back that up.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if Baylor can get... If Baylor gets to the national championship, all that COVID stuff will be out the window at that point. They will have to be playing good basketball if they're going to beat Illinois, Ohio, Purdue, UNC. That's their path.
Yeah.
So I think if the Zags meet Baylor in the national championship, that I think Baylor can do it. I'm not super confident about Baylor beating Illinois. I think that's probably their trap game.
That'd be a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm very much okay with the way that Drake laid that out. I think especially if Gonzaga can win in the first 2 rounds and kind of get some momentum, that's where they get really dangerous. Because at that point, Drake's right. They will be battle-tested. They'll have played some really good teams, obviously beaten some really good teams if they're in the national championship. I think that's going to bite them early in the tournament, but that's why it's March, why it's some madness. But I'm very much okay with that logic if Gonzaga does go on. I mean, they're going to be really, really dangerous after that second game. I, however, have obviously gone a different direction, seeing as we have Bama and Baylor in my national championship. My biggest thing, so I have Baylor winning this game, and here's why. I am okay with all of the losses Baylor has. They lost to a team they played 3 times. Hard to beat any team 3 times, especially when you have the best player arguably in the country on the other side. Also, their other loss was at Kansas, tough place to play. Second game off COVID. They weren't the same team. And I also truly believe Baylor's best game is still out there. We haven't seen them play a full 2 halves, I don't think, once this season. So I think Baylor figures it out, pieces together in the tournament, has their best game in March. They beat Bama, and Baylor is your 2021 March Madness national champions. Hang a banner in the Farrell or whatever the new center is going to be called. Going to be a lot of fun.
I hate that we got so far. We got all the way to the game.
Gosh.
And I just couldn't do it. I don't have that word. I don't know what would explain it. To pick the team that I want to win it all, to win it all, you know? I don't want to be the guy that says, oh, I root for this team. I go to this school. I cover this team.
Yeah.
They're going to win the national championship.
So is it a Gonzaga thing or is it a Baylor thing as to why they wouldn't win that game?
Both. I think Gonzaga's good.
Tell me why Baylor wouldn't win that game. Not because I'm saying you're wrong. I'm very okay with the way that you laid that out. I want to hear, though, as to like what Baylor lacks.
Corey Kispert, Drew Timme, Jalen Suggs. Those three guys, that three-headed monster is better than Baylor's three-headed monster. A metrics, analytics, statistics standpoint. And I mean, look at what they produce on the court, especially in the non-conference games where they were just beating breaks off of really good teams. I think that three-headed monster is just a hair better than Baylor's three-headed monster. Because think about this. Granted, you've got a guy like Macy. Will we see consistency? As we have seen consistency from Macy O'Teague and Davion Mitchell and Jared Butler. But look at the games where Jared Butler doesn't play that well. You know, Baylor, the drop-off is there.
It's much tighter for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think you get a situation where Baylor's going to play great defense, but that Gonzaga team is just a monstrous team. And here's what I love. Remember that Kentucky team that lost in the Final Four to Wisconsin?
Yep.
They were just beaten down. Everybody's coming for their head the whole season.
Yeah.
Here's the deal with Gonzaga. You know who's been coming after their head? Pepperdine.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
Loyola Marymount.
So they haven't had to. I mean, they've stayed rested.
Yep.
They're still fresh. Yes, the tournament's going to be an absolute drag for everybody, but you get to the end of it, Baylor's faced some insanely good competition, and I think it's a question I've asked all year. Is it better to play an easy schedule and be rested going into the tournament, or play a tough schedule and know what it's like to be in those gritty games? I think in the end, the rest is going to help Gonzaga. They're going to win the national championship against Baylor.
I think your rebuttal from a Baylor fan would be, okay, yes, those three. Obviously, three of, I think all three of those guys were All-Americans when it was all said and done in the postseason, according to the AP.
Yeah.
Past those three guys, if you're a Baylor fan, I think you really got to like your bench. Obviously, the bench hasn't been super consistent. You got to have guys play well, especially in March. But if the bench is playing well, do you still see Gonzaga being that team?
That's a huge if. That's the problem with that. It's the huge if, because Flagler's been non-existent. Meyer's been non-existent the last two games, or more than the last two games. I mean, those guys have been gone.
No, he had 18. What was it against West Virginia?
Yeah, so the last three games or so, 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, if they're on, I think that's going to be problems.
Here's the deal. I think Baylor wins the national championship if Meyer or Flagler put up 18. That's the number. That's the golden number. If one of those guys puts up 18, it's over. Baylor wins, but I just don't know if it'll happen.
It's going to be fun.
All right, celebrity birthday. So wait a second. We had JD and so Andrew, JD, you both had Baylor winning it all, right?
Got Baylor winning it all.
Armstrong, who's winning it all in your bracket?
I have Baylor.
Oh.
Wow, really? Armstrong already had this conversation.
When is the last time that two one seeds played each other in the national championship?
Ever since Baylor basketball retweeted in a One Shining Moment video,
that's what
I'm
did him in.
seriously doubting that pick.
Interesting. To your question, Andrew, I'm going to say it was Memphis, Kansas in 2010 when Mario Chalmers hit that game winner. Because that was the year it was all 4 seeds, wasn't it? Or excuse me, all 1 seeds in the Final Four.
Yeah.
It was Memphis, Kansas, UCLA, Duke.
Right.
The fourth, I think. I don't know if Duke was the fourth or not.
History's not on our side. I have Baylor, Illinois.
What year?
I guess 2010 is probably earlier than that. Give me 2007. 2008.
We got to go celebrity birthdays. We're running out of time.
Let's go.
All right, celebrity birthdays. Adam Levine.
Whoa.
Ooh, 40.
47.
Armstrong. Adam Levine.
I don't know.
50.
I like it.
42.
Okay.
42.
Right.
How about a little bit of Sierra Bravo action? She was in those Disney shows.
Why does she sound so familiar?
I don't know who she is. Give me
32.
32. Give me 28.
28.
24.
The 24?
24.
Okay, there we
All
go.
Right.
Heck yeah.
Queen Latifah.
Oh, the Queen. Give me 58.
Queen Latifah.
70.
No. The Queen?
64.
The Queen.
The disrespect. She's 51.
There we go.
God, you guys are the worst.
I said 58.
I haven't seen a
far.
picture.
Yeah, you guys are
Not
the
far
worst.
off. Queen Latifah.
It is Wes Nelson's birthday. He's a reality star.
Willie Nelson's son.
Which reality?
Is he really? Lil
I don't
Papa?
know. I actually have no
Lil
idea. I
Papa's
made that up. I'm
birthday.
sorry.
Lil Papa has a birthday today. Carrie Huang, Jay Wan have birthdays today. Happy birthday, you guys. Connor Byrne is celebrating his 58th birthday today. Congratulations, Connor Byrne.
Go Con.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Dane Cook.
Mm-hmm.
How old?
Dane Jeff?
Give me 43.
43?
Who's Dane Cook?
The comedian, Dane Cook.
It's pretty funny.
Sure. 44. Did you
No.
say
30.
43?
49. And Grover Cleveland, my favorite of the day.
Grover Cleveland is 130. I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, he's older than that. I actually don't know.
Give me 156.
That was I was.
Give me your number.
I was gonna say 158, but I'm not gonna say that anymore. I'm gonna change it to 164.
184.
Ooh.
184.
Happy birthday,
This day in
Grover.
sports history, 37th.
Grand National?
It's a Grand National! 37th Grand National!
We're back.
Tommy Pickell wins his 3rd Grand National aboard 106 Chance Pathfinder.
Let's go. 56.
Oh, you know what time it is.
Later, guys.
All right, this has been Up Tempo today. We're coming back tomorrow with the March Madness going on tonight. It's happening tomorrow at 11:15. We're going to walk you through all the games, have another star-studded list of guests. The Blonde Boys Power Hour taking place at 11 a.m. Thanks for sticking with us today. We got our March Madness brackets out. And
First
this,
perfect bracket.
all of this today has been Up
Brackets.
Tempo.
Brackets are going to go.
Oh my God.